5 people are watching. They are all different computers, like the same guy. And
it's all Keith.
Just Keith making sure nothing's bad.
Yes. So that's where you are now. You're at Jackson Elias' office. There's a man there you haven't seen before. He looks a little bit like Don Knotts. And Jackson Elias introduced you. This is Mr. Knott. He is a property manager for a local resident who wishes to remain anonymous. Local resident has come into a piece of property commonly known locally as the Corbett House. And it is believed that this house is haunted. It has a history. Yeah.
We arrived in a car. You saw the chauffeur, who was kind of a beefy guy.
It works, right?
They rolled up in a Rolls-Royce Phantom 1.
And then a hobo got out of it with a dog. And I got out as well.
There's this professor in a tweed suit and a hobo and a dog get out. Yeah.
Talking animatedly.
And like the chauffeur is in his uniform with his hat and the buttons.
You're talking about your dreams.
Oh yes, I had a vision, Doc. It was a triangle. Vision. An eye. Still having them again. Keep waking up in weird places.
We did his dreams earlier.
In the Squirrel Street address. House.
And so it just so happens that the Corbett House is on Squirrel Street.
You don't say.
How long do you want this to be? A day trip? Or are we supposed to bring her back?
Told you.
So he gives you the address, and he asks that you look into this case. And do you have any? Oh, and Mr. Knott is willing to pay $200 up front, plus any minor expenses that should arise.
They'll buy a lot of beans,
which is a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Per person. Oh yeah, that's like you're like easily 1,000 times your current wealth by getting
this house worth?
It's gonna be like $10,000, right?
Our client wishes to remain anonymous.
So what exactly are we hired to do? To
investigate the haunting. If it's determined whether or not it's genuine, end it if you can.
What's the nature of the haunting, supposedly?
Well, the last family that lived in there, we believe that they're currently in an asylum somewhere. We're not too sure about that. Details are sketchy.
My good man.
Which is why we've called
being mentally ill is not haunting. I understand what you could be confused on the
Well,
matter.
they
may hear voices, but that is the information I am seeking. Not that they have been incarcerated or put in an asylum. Perhaps they are hearing voices only in their own mind. Perhaps they are truly hearing voices coming from the walls.
Well, hopefully you can determine that.
But I must know first what they thought was happening that led to them being asylum.
You'd have to investigate that. We're not even sure what asylum they're in right now.
And it's the house you're selling.
Mr. Knott has purchased the house for his client.
From whom?
From the previous owners.
Who are?
The Macario family.
Are those the people who might be
They're in the
asylum?
Well, they have children that have an executor, and the executor sold the house to cover the medical bills in the asylum.
Is the executor in town? Is it a Boston? I assume
Yeah,
it's a Boston
lawyer.
Could we have his name?
Sure, Artie Solicitor.
Who's already?
Solicitor, and solicitor.
So, how?
Is there any booze in the room?
Oh yes.
I go ahead.
I feel like a house.
You drink Jackson Elias's
I feel like a
liquor.
house doesn't just become haunted. There's probably.
Well, if you look in the
Clearly, I was hoping that
if you look in the investigator handbook, it tells you exactly what to do in chapter 7.
Oh, yes, let me get on my investigative handbook. Yeah. We all have this.
The handbook of the psychical society.
Chapter 7.
They kind of use mine.
What happened to Inside Kowalski joining that.
Oh, he was murdered by the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
His brother.
Yeah.
And now he's like, there's weird shit out
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you remembered he was murdered.
He was
there.
dead.
I'm murdered, and now I'm out investigating.
Okay, no, this is Cthulhu.
That is entirely possible in Call of Cthulhu. In fact, that sounds like a fantastic scenario. You got murdered, and now you're back, and now you have to investigate your own murder.
Did you see the new system that just came out on Kickstarter like a few months ago, where you're playing as the cultists?
Yeah, for the vampire guys.
Yeah, I'm curious how that is.
It probably sucks.
Excuse me, the Macario family were the last known.
They were the last residents. The house has been vacant since then.
They and or their children might be in some asylum somewhere.
We think the parents are in an asylum and the children are in the care of family back in Europe.
Our outfit is perfect for the situation we're getting into.
And the solicitor is already solstice.
Andrew's solicitor. I'll think of the last name. It's in the morning. We got the first train in.
And we are in Boston.
Yes.
Sweet. You guys have any plans?
I gotta get to this address. Had a vision. That's all I'm here. Fate guides me to.
If you look at this, it says that you go to the site last. Just saying.
I see no
Just
reason why we
saying.
can't head to the house and start pounding on some neighbors' doors. This is a residential place, right?
It certainly is.
How's your charisma?
In fact, the first thing it says is gather information.
Okay. I was wondering how
Not site visit.
I don't know, I was thinking like your persuasion or something.
Remember, you know that the supernatural is real. You know full well. You've seen fishmen, man. And they cast spells. It was nuts. You know that the supernatural is real. You have dreams of that shit all the time. He knows that the supernatural is full real. He was present at the Dunwich horror.
So we can try to track down this family.
What about the history of the house? Boston's an old city.
I'm sure they're somewhere.
Don't they keep? So we go to town hall. See the property.
Jackson Elias suggests, well, the most common place for records of this sort would probably be the Boston Globe. They carry stories that are like.
Did they have microfiche at this point, or is that too?
They have a morgue that has all their stories.
So did the McCarty family do anything, or were they just like crazy and like?
We're not sure.
Don't they keep?
The landlord has not had contact with the family.
Then I'm not.
You can look at tax records. We go see the hall and see if they.
Yeah,
Who's owned it.
we can, and if there's a.
How about I go to City Hall, my friend? You don't need to try to go to City Hall.
Hobo with two shotguns.
I'm looking for the tax records.
I need a home.
If the kids went back to Europe, I got to stay behind. Then there's going to be some record somewhere of the guardianship transfer. We can figure out where the kids
It's like the grandparents.
Are you saying we shouldn't find the children?
If you want.
The children are in Europe, but we can find out where the parents were taken, where they get guardianship.
I say I'd like to find out what the history behind the house is. Who's owned it? Why was it built? Where was it built? The original site?
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
So where do you go first?
I think you could probably split up, try to, maximize the results.
If you wish.
Wrong character playing this one. Intimidate 31.
She's kind of looking at my attribute a little bit.
He has other qualities.
So Jackson lives here, right? Jackson Elias lives in Boston.
He lives in Boston. He has a house here.
So Mr. Elias, have you heard about this house at all?
There have not really been too much that I've seen about that. I suspect that the house has a long history and reports have not been modern. But it has been discussed in meetings before.
So it sounds to me like she's less successful.
I think there was an incident in the 19th century, but I can't recall. If I did, I would have
I
already.
say we go City Hall or something.
Okay.
City Hall!
Well, Elias has suggested that you go to the Boston Globe because they carry stories of this type. Weird
that's why I was
murders, weird shit.
That's why I asked him if he had heard anything of that. And then it was printed in the
But he has not looked through the records of the Boston Globe either. Not for this, anyway.
to the Boston Globe.
Okay.
Inside the motor car, right?
No, the Rolls Royce Phantom? Yeah, that guy took off already. He dropped you off at Jackson Elias' house? I'm done. He drives for somebody else.
Thought we had a cool car.
I'm from around Boston, right?
No, he drives that car for one person only. And she told him to help out the society this one time, so she did.
So we got a Model T?
It's a trusty little thing. It'll get us where we're going.
You have a Model T.
Well, actually, my goal is to make the Rolls Royce Phantom crash in every scenario. There you go.
Just start off with that one. You're sitting in a room. You're drinking a cup of coffee. You're drinking tea.
So you drive past City Hall on the way to the Boston Globe. And
What's the most like National Enquirer-esque newspaper in this town?
there are 6 newspapers in Boston.
Well, yeah, but what's the one that's like
The Globe.
the Globe is the one that's just like that boy killed off all the aliens. That was fun.
Well, they're the 20s.
Which one is the fake news?
There's no fake news in the 1920s. It's all real. And remember, there's
real all the time,
6 newspapers in the city. So competition among journalists is fierce.
I'm just saying, one says, "Hey, a ship blew up," and the other says, "The Spanish blew up our ship."
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta find the one that goes with like the Spanish, because that's probably the truth.
Unfortunately, that one would not cover haunted house in Boston's North End. Totally freaky.
And on a local section.
I'm sure the property values are going to go way up. Yes, insane children found eating each other's hair. Please move in.
The Boston
You
Globe.
read old newspapers? That shit was all over
It
this.
says right here, it's a daily newspaper of good repute.
Good repute.
Those are hard to find.
You want to find someplace that doesn't have good repute, it's going to tell us the
Let's
truth.
find out.
Well, you come into the receptionist's office at the front desk, and like, I guess you're there. You can watch the Model T, right?
I'll stand outside. I'll take the dog for a walk.
Okay, so he takes the dog for a walk, and 2 of you roll up to the front
Could you
desk.
canvass the neighborhood and ask neighbors and stuff?
Sure.
Go pound on some doors.
We can
He
drop
has
you
to-
off.
Yeah, so you drop him off in the neighborhood.
Go talk to the homeless population.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they might know something about this house. I mean, it's an
The
empty
hobo-
house.
It's the hobo connection.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I'll ask why isn't anybody squatting.
Okay, roll credit rating,
M's?
What do I got to do?
percentile.
Percentile dice? You mind? I did kind of visiting.
Here, let me get you these dice.
Holy shit, I did it.
I found it with the market.
62.
Okay, so you failed horribly on your credit rating, which is successful, and you found some poor people that you can ask about the house. Well, and they appear to be from Eastern Europe, Nick. Well, you do not want to go to this house. That is a strange house.
No one's tried going in there and squatting. You're
You see the house from a distance.
You want to go low in
And
the system?
you can feel that there's
You want to go
a foulness
So it's
about
percentile
it.
based?
Any scuttlebutt? You know, the homeless seen anybody? True or false?
Oh, yes. You want to talk to Julie.
So I'll set up a meeting with
I got a bunch of
They motion over to a local newsstand. There's like a 6-story office building, and then there's like this.
lose your 10
This, it almost looks like an abandoned lot, except there's a house in it. It's all overgrown and nasty, and there's like another big ass building. Like they overgrew this section.
Yeah, so the number is what you want to roll, but
So you go over to talk to the guy at the newsstand, Mr. Dooley. He's got like a beret kind of hat and a bunch of newspapers. What can I get you, Mac?
so you get into Fort Knox, so then you can ask you to do hard or extreme.
I have visions,
which are 1/2 or
and
1/5 your value.
Trying to figure out the Scarl
That way
Street
it's,
house.
it can adjust.
No one's moved in and no one's trying to squat.
Corbett House.
Yeah, that's
You gotta stay away from that place.
and why is that?
Bad things happen there.
Like what?
All kind of bad things. Just trust me, you don't want to be
I
anywhere
want
near
to
that
know.
house.
Inquiring mind.
That is not a good place to squat.
Has anybody tried? What happened to them?
They didn't last an hour.
Just bad. Just got the widgies out.
Bad juju.
Okay,
Just got the.
Bad juju. I they said juju in the place.
Sure.
We'll just say they did.
Yeah. They said that a lot.
Mr. Macario would always talk about a haunting figure with burning eyes. He went nuts, you know.
And he went nuts. Is he in an asylum?
Huh?
Where did he?
I heard they put him in the Roxbury Sanatorium.
Ashcan Pete.
Roxbury Sanitarium.
It's the Ashcan Pete.
Where's that?
Ashy. That guy.
Pete.
It's a few miles out of Boston.
So he's in the sanitarium. What did any words on what he said he saw? What were the stories?
He would always talk about a man with burning eyes in his dreams.
How about his names?
I'm a dreamer too. And I described the symbol. Does the symbol mean anything? Does anybody see the symbol?
I don't know. See if he knows. O2! Yes, he made his occult lord. That's the Chapel of Contemplation. You want to stay away from there.
Question. I was late and I'm super shitty. Can I go get Subway?
Sure.
You right? Keep going.
So chapter of contemplation.
It's spelled contemplation like this. That doesn't look friendly.
Just imagine this hobo writing down on toilet paper. Content.
So what do they do?
They do that.
They do that. Burning eyes, chapel of contemplation. Kidnap homeless people. Are they homeless people gone missing?
It's a chapel.
And do they?
They got children. Not homeless people.
They get children.
They burned down a few years back.
Where was their place located?
He gives you their address.
Okay.
Page 68.
Put it on and put her in Snow White style.
Page Street. 68 Page Street.
68 page from here.
So she's
Check it out. So I take it the orphanages around here, they kidnapping kids? Or were they?
They don't really talk about it. They didn't even make the papers.
Your kid? Ooh, sounds like someone in the papers.
I don't know. You might want to check the papers.
Where I come.
Meanwhile, at the papers.
White. Chapel of contemplation.
Yeah. So obviously I'm chatting up a secretary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to... Oh, how can I help you, sir?
Just no.
Well, honey, I'm working on this real estate thing. I need to sell this to some people, but they keep saying that bad things happen and all that. I just want to look through all the older papers.
Make sure a credit rating roll.
Nothing. Credit rating or persuasion?
Credit rating.
Probably not. That's 93.
That is not a success. So she thinks you're crazy. You do not look reputable to her. Go ahead and roll persuade, but roll it at half your regular skill.
At half my regular skill?
It's all about it. You don't have to commit to anything.
A success, but not a uber success.
Success is all you need. Well, I guess you can see the morgue. She takes you down there, or she has one of the guys take you down there. He's a photographer, obviously, because he's got a big ass camera and a bunch of photography stuff.
Well, there's only one type of camera in these days. Big ass.
And he just always wears it on him just in case he just takes a picture.
Just in case he This camera is worth $1,500, so he does not just like leave it around. It's a newspaper camera for real newspapers.
So do you know generally when we're looking?
And well, the photographer knows Kowalski.
Okay.
Because the photographer is a member of the Society of Psychical Research. He doesn't know you because you're from Arkham.
So not a crowd.
He takes you down there and they talk, and you get to talking about the society and how this is a society investigation. Oh, I'll be happy to help you go through all of this. He introduces you to the keeper of the Boston Globe's morgue, and you go through a bunch of paperwork, and you get a handout.
I do have library use if that's any assistance here.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That is a success. 45 on
Check. The Ruth Blake, the photographer, takes you into a dusty basement filled with filing cabinets and stacked high with old newspapers and other assorted junk. The whole room smells musty, and the boiler system in the corner gives out a lot of heat.
I smell fire.
Yeah, behind a wine rack. We watched spiders down there.
He barely has like a very, very young boy.
Pretty decidedly.
So he was no kidding. Wow. He's only like 30.
So you come across a few interesting items. This is the most interesting one. I want to read that aloud for the benefit of the players, so as not to.
Okay, so it says on top in red ink, do not print the speculations beneath the globe, -editor. Didn't want to assign his name to it. And who haunts on the house on Sheep Street? By Clarence Dooley. October 28, 1921. Something sinister seems to haunt the local Boston house. Whatever destroyed their families in less than a week. Whatever is there has destroyed 3 families in less than a decade. The 2-story house at 20 Sheep Street in Copp's Hill neighborhood has been a site of fear, madness, death, and possibly murder. Since shortly after the turn of the century, in 1912, the house was sold to the city at auction from a family of French immigrants, the name of Ledoux. I know how to pronounce that because I speak French.
Indeed. What a strange coincidence.
I'm like super into deep ones. I've seen Fishman. I'm part of this psychic place, and I don't have a cult.
Nope. You're not much for books.
What horrors happened there, the people will never
I don't
know.
need books with horrors happening in front of my
You've
eyes.
seen what happens to people who read too many.
Save that a series of violent attacks of some kind left one of the children dead. The cause of death appears to have been stabbing, but the murder weapon was never found. Both parents claimed that the house was locked tightly and that they neither saw nor heard anything. The house stood vacant for years, but in 1917 another family moved in. From the time they moved to the house, Mr. and Mrs. James felt that the illness and sickness, almost as if the house itself were conspiring against them. Their children did not fare much better, and only after a few months, the Jones family fled the house in the middle of the night and moved to California. The terror reached ahead in March this year, when the youngest family of Negroes went mad and killed themselves in the kitchen bath. The family moved out only 2 months, heartbroken at their loss. Is the house haunted? Does some ungodly heathen threaten the good Christian folk of Copper Hill, who is willing to sell Negroes? Perhaps there is something wrong with this. The disease still lingers when it was built. In any case, anyone who dares live there now had better be brave and strong, or take their own lives in their hands.
How did they die in the first place?
In the first one, it was the Dew family. No one knows exactly how they died. After that, it was a stabbing of one of them.
I thought it was a child.
A child stabbing, but no one found the knife, and the parents were locked up tight.
The child was stabbed.
Yes, child was stabbed
To death.
to death.
And then a Negro family, the youngest, was also stabbed to death.
Oh, she killed herself with a kitchen knife.
There was a whole lot of stabbing going on.
Or at least that's what it says here.
And again, also, it's apparently an upscale neighborhood and they sold to Negroes, so you can tell how badly they wanted to sell that house.
In the 1920s.
In 1921? Yeah.
Boston is still not a very minded town.
Most places aren't. The white flight hasn't happened yet, so. This is I lived in, my brother owned a house in San Francisco, and they had the HOA, but they always crossed out things that were removed from the HOA because, it's just better practice that way. So in the removed section, there was a section that just says, you shall not sell to Negroes.
Still on there, huh? Rather than
Well, they crossed it out.
crossed it out.
They said, we're invalidating this as of 1970-something. But it was still 1970-something before,
Yes, we are just merely trying to pass through.
Yeah. That was an expensive paper.
So I'll let you guys. I got some stuff on this. You heard what I found out. Asked about the symbol. Symbol is from the Chapel of Contemplation, known for sacrificing children. The chapel burned down. No one's been able to get into the house.
Well, you got the keys. Not gave you the keys to the house. Who wants the keys?
Alright, I'm gonna walk through.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking this stuff up. I don't know if you wanted to join me in doing that, or if you okay. So we discovered that article essentially where we're the photographer.
We're still doing
Yeah, in the Globe. It was never printed. It was crossed out and we do not print this filth.
Why not? That's a great story.
Yeah. The author is Clarence Dooley. Right now we're with a photographer.
The photographer tells you that Clarence died recently.
Okay.
He was working in organized crime cases, and they're pretty sure they got him. No, he was shot.
And
Found
he's
floating
also,
in the
the
bay.
photographer is also a fellow member of our society because
The photographer at the paper got you into the morgue because he recognizes you as a member of the Society of Psychical Research, which he is also a member of.
I approve.
So this is the Corbett house? That's what we keep getting told?
again it was bought by the Dew family originally, and then went through
Where did the
several
name Corbett
owners.
come from?
Didn't say in the article.
Maybe that's the original owner. Says
No, that was Ledoux.
Says the whatchamacallit, the photographer. Well, these records only go back to 1857. There was a fire. If you want to look further than that, you'd have to go to the Hall of Records.
If this house has been a problem for so long and it's held on to the name Corbett, we should go to the Hall of Records and see
They all start running.
I'm okay with that. I thought we should probably.
I also want to see if there's a.
I would like to go to the corner and see this Clarence Dooley if they're actually dead.
I'd like to go find.
Chapel of Contemplation is burned down.
Sure, and we can do that by finding like fire records.
You have to find out when the Chapel of Contemplation.
We probably agreed to meet up at like a cafe or something.
Huh? No, just hang out. You got a Model T. Sit in the back seat with the dog. But screw this walking stuff.
You were talking with them, right?
Yeah, I was outside. You guys went in. I kind of found the scuttlebutt.
Oh, so you just wandered over and found the homeless population.
Kind of linked in with them.
It's just across the back alley from the Globe.
Yeah, so I'll meet you guys out in front of the.
Yeah, we meet up.
So the photographer says, now the library has a complete collection of this newspaper going back before the fire. So you might want to check there too.
Before the fire of the church?
Before the fire in the Boston Globe archives.
Of the house burning down.
There's in the mid to late 1800s. There's a fire at the Boston Globe, and all their records were consumed.
Very inconvenient.
It seems the lies just
That's a historical event.
Well, if they went store newspapers near a furnace
Yep.
in the basement,
Maybe they wouldn't have that problem.
it sounds like they're going to do it again.
Boston isn't exactly safe known for fire, so you know.
Cut all the way out at this point.
So where do you want to go?
People would like to meet.
All records.
Or the library?
Forms next to it.
The nearest closer.
The library is closer. The Central Library in Boston is the second largest library in the United States. The only library that's bigger is the Library of Congress in the Thomas Jefferson Building in Washington, D.C. This is a huge library. There's like 400,000 books in the 1920s. I have an article about Boston in the 1920s.
That's a lot of shit to parse through. That's why you grab a librarian. And I'm going to walk up to the nearest librarian.
Library use.
I use Intimidate, just grab a librarian. Nerd! Find this
They
thing.
kick you out. And your dog, too. You can't bring that in here. This is a lot.
50%. Sure don't. But I want to try to find a librarian.
About you.
I'm kicked out.
Finding a librarian is part of the library use. What did you roll?
He rolled an 81.
Oh, he did not succeed on that roll.
I use Intimidate to intimidate someone.
You find a librarian, but she's like really busy and blows you off.
I barely succeeded.
What now?
I got 73 out of 80.
Okay, so you just kind of sort of make it. Okay.
I like my type.
So-
Just grab somebody. Give me a librarian!
Where is it?
Did not work.
What is it? Where is it?
Intimidate does not work at the library. They just call the cops.
Take me to books!
Don't make my dog bite you.
So you ask
It's a
about the
service
library.
dog. That's going to be a thing in a few years. You're going to regret this.
And they take you down to the newspaper archive, and you go through all the stuff that's prior to there. And there are 3, 4, 5, and 6.
And then the
No
other
problem.
way happened.
I'll just read it out. Since I can't find them on Imgur, I'll just read them out.
I'd like to go someplace.
Okay, the first news story that you uncover digging through
We can talk about it as we're going.
the bottom of the
But we want
library
to
in
know
the
why
basement.
he's not in here. We want to know how we can help you do that.
Is a section titled 1835. A prosperous merchant builds the house but immediately falls ill and sells it to a Mr. Walter Corbett, Esquire. So that's the first story that you get, 1835. The next story that you get, 1852, Walter Corbett is sued by neighbors who petitioned him to force him to leave the area in consequence of his serious habits and unauspicious demeanor.
Sorry, his what habits?
Surious. S-U-R-I-O-U-S. I do not know what that means.
It means it's creepy.
Probably.
Inauspicious demeanor.
I mean, we all do have like pocket connections.
Really? That's the sixth time? Okay. The next newspaper article you pull from the library. Corbett apparently wins the lawsuit. His obituary in 1866 states that he still lived in the same place. You find his obituary, Corbett's obituary. It states that a second lawsuit was being waged to prevent by his neighbors, to prevent Corbett from being buried in his basement as provided by his will.
Alright, now that's fucking weird.
No outcome to the second lawsuit is recorded. That's a handout, but no outcome is really. You need a handout to say that. So he's got a will, and there are 2 lawsuits.
Two. So we can look up that.
I'm curious.
So I'm just making sure.
Ashcan Pete, after hearing this, wants to go to the Hall of Record.
We go there first.
Hall of Justice, maybe.
Ta-da-da. Batman would have solved this case by now. He's the world's greatest detective. He just go into the neighborhood with his bat megaphone. Has anyone seen the Joker?
There was a supply closet.
Oh! Okay, so
Batman does not do nearly enough cocaine to be the world's greatest detective.
Well, yeah, so we'll go to the. So I remind you of that. So we'll go to the Tri-Tower first.
greatest living. So what do you do? So what do you guys do now? You go through all the rest of the papers, and you don't. That's how you spend the whole day. Is going through 19th century newspapers, clubs, and shit. Handling it. You don't have to handle rare documents.
No, Pete wants to go to the Hall of Records.
So that's tomorrow. Oh, Pete reports what he found at the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, we did that on the
He talked to Dooley.
Julie told me about the Chapel of Contemplation. Like to burn down. They've been sacrificing kids.
He had a dream about the Chapel of Contemplation symbol.
Also, his dreams tend to come real.
And I also saw a dude with no eyes. And people have also
Burning.
Also burning eyes. Pictures of it. Burning eyes. That's another thing. So maybe the occult knows of anything that's referenced burning eyes.
How many kids died from like stabbings?
At least 2 that we know.
At least 2 in the church.
But many families simply left or things like that.
I wonder how long the ones who left stayed. Like if they left.
It was generally a few months. They started getting sick. If they stayed, they started to get sick, and then the stabbings would go away.
Stabbings would make me run away too.
Yeah. The other one was just sick. Yeah, the other Jones
Tell him
family.
about the knife.
The Jones family was just sick.
Yeah, I forgot. I saw
And
a
then
picture of a
left because
knife
they kept
too.
getting sicker and sicker.
Sorry, thank you.
There's a knife.
Also dreamt of a knife with an eye in it. Her flying around, you said, back and forth.
Yeah.
It literally was a flying knife.
It's weird.
I'm a weird dude.
That's also true.
He hooked me up to electrodes. Ask Doc. He studied my brainwaves.
It was 1920. They're only
Theoretical. They're only
I
theoretical.
wasn't studying brainwaves. I was probably like trying to shock you to make things happen.
To make you better.
If I shock you in the middle of the night.
Why was there a rat sitting next to me, Doc?
Yeah.
So never happened to Blinky.
Is it too late to go to the Hall of Records today?
Yes.
Well, let's go by
The library's like closing.
I think the one thing I do is I try to go to like the morgue.
Did your
The
friends tell you where
morgue.
the church?
Yeah, I want
Bodies
to see
morgue.
Clarence Dooley.
Oh, so you know where?
He's not. He's been buried already.
Oh, that was already.
We go by the where the church was.
Yeah, let's do that.
At night. Sure, no problem.
Well, do I have a flashlight?
Yeah, headlights.
Of course you do.
I got a dog and 2 shotguns.
You're a private detective. If you don't, you have to go buy one. Electric torch, which is what they call flashlights.
Hey, yeah, let's go to the church.
Must have been a brand called.
Well, they didn't say that it's been rebuilt.
Nope, I just know the address. It said burned down.
How long ago?
You didn't.
Hobo time. It was. I just want to.
Well, it's still burned down, so it couldn't have been
So
that
it's probably
long.
derelict now.
Yep. Or they rebuilt it. I'd like to go to the ruins.
I also had a flashlight and a Remington typewriter.
You didn't.
Just carry that around.
Probably did not bring it.
I have a Ford Model T, so
maybe
I'm presuming all these
maybe
in
you
my
do.
Ford Model T. I have.
If you want, yeah, sure.
My Model T has a sawed-off shotgun up in the
I have none of those.
back.
I have a stick with a tablecloth. And I assume a can of beans, a can of flint and steel, and hobo clothes.
One of them maybe.
But I also have 2 shotguns. So,
And a beautiful dog.
and a dog.
Did you say shotgun? Okay, yeah.
I assume they're duct
What
taped.
part of he's a hobo with 2 shotguns did you fail to
I haven't
understand?
seen them yet.
Yeah, I was hoping to have. No one's seen him, especially in walking around 19.
Hey, can you tell me about the church?
You're a librarian. I came in here to do things. Read books and chew bubble gum.
He's always wearing a coat and just matrix in his thing.
So,
I assume they're just duct taped on my back.
they're in your stick with tablecloth.
Okay.
You got a can of beans, a can over, and like
And a shotgun.
I forget what that's called.
So you head on over to the Chapel of Contemplation.
Yeah.
This is an above view of the chapel's grounds.
It is derelict.
Oh, I dreamed again. I saw this doc.
Oh, that's terrible. You can't have them duct taped to your back. That was developed in 1942. You'd have to tie them with rope or something.
Leather.
You just have leather straps like Ash from Army of Darkness.
Yeah, you use belts as like bandolier.
Bandolier, they cross chest and they sit through.
Through the trigger hole, but not on the trigger.
Do you want to go inside the chapel?
Yes.
Well, we're already here. We ain't turning around.
I also have a flashlight.
I got a flashlight.
I got a dog.
I have a what is it?
Duke will not go inside the chapel.
Come on, dude.
What is a pen light?
He is being a pussy.
A pen light's like a smaller flashlight. You use to look at the keyhole.
I don't have an extra flashlight, but I have a pen light.
I'll take it.
Is this? This is a pen light.
I give him a pen light.
I take a pen light, sir.
That's all I got. We should have been more prepared.
I'm sorry.
He has 50 cents because his credit rating is 0.
2 shotguns, I don't know how much ammunition, and a stick, and a pen light.
So, are we looking for anything here, or are we just checking it out? Because, you know, kids died here.
Yes.
The chapel of contemplation.
Maybe we're just checking it out.
Check it out.
Location number 8.
Probably not dark out at this point.
What
Probably
is
like,
left of the old church stands at the end of a crooked, dingy street. The ruins are so weathered and overgrown with greenery that the gray stone rubble seems more like natural stone than former walls and foundation. You pass a slumping wall bearing white painted symbols, apparently freshly swabbed. 3 Ys arranged in a triangle so the top elements of each Y touch each other, the other 2 Ys. In the center, so created, is painted a staring eye.
That's my symbol. That's my green.
You wish to approach the wall. Symbol. Glory to the chapel.
symbols on one of the like, top.
It's that symbol.
Yeah, I know what it is where. We've entered into the chapel.
Yeah, when you enter the chapel, the symbols on like top pillar.
It's like everything's burned. When you look at the symbol and you shine your flashlights on the symbol, that area of the wall is not so burned.
Give you a map of the Chronicle?
Well, they didn't rebuild.
No, they did not. This place is a freaking wreck.
It's all good because there's really.
I'll search around. I'll look for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take up parts of the symbol.
We're here.
Prowling the chapel, you find mostly blocks of granite, old half-burned timbers, and ancient rubbish. Everyone please make a luck roll.
Is that percentage?
It is based off of your POW.
Power. So, is it the bottom number or is it power?
The full number.
Full number.
It should be what your base power.
I'll tell you if you have to go half or 1/5.
57, power 7.
Yes.
Success on that.
43 power of 60.
Success.
19. 19.
Okay. You all succeed on your luck rolls.
The GM is disappointed.
Yeah, very disappointed. You all become aware roughly at the same time that the area you are standing on is covering weakened floorboards, and you are in danger of falling through the weakened floorboards. But because you made a successful luck roll, you've noticed this in time, and were able to back up off into more solid ground.
Is there a rock? A loose stone?
Sure, there is a block of granite that you
Can I pick up
that is small enough to
lift, but then throw over the weakened board?
I mean, the bricks are also probably around
Okay,
here
you
falling
bust
apart.
up the ruins of the Chapel of Contemplation, and you can see that there is definitely some sort of dark hole below.
The one we caused, like,
It's not really weird. It's like a basement.
and we threw rocks at a floor that was going to break away. So the whole
Who's
kind
the
of makes
smartest
sense.
guy? The professor. Okay, you're shining your flashlights down in there. You can tell that this area of the basement was sealed off from the rest of the basement that is collapsed. This was originally reached by separate stairs, now buried under tons of rubble.
This was a
You
secret.
can see a cabinet and 2 skeletons dressed in tattered silk robes.
Are they burned silk robes or are they skeletons?
Tattered. Perhaps they hid from the police and then perished of asphyxiation from the fire. The cabinet looks intact from where you are at.
Can we drop down?
Yeah, we can try to figure a way down there, right?
It is kind of far, and it is not like it's not soft, and it's not. There's stuff down
Is
there.
there, so like how, I know this is the church, the chapel of contemplation, but how traditional, like, would their furniture be? Would there be pews that survived the fire?
That would all be above ground, and that all burned. You're standing where, or you're kind of standing where the pews would be set up and everything.
And there are none?
Well, there's burned remnants.
Do we like fashion, like,
A ladder?
slighted?
No, there's not a pew.
There's not like a burned beam or something. Or you
You
could
get a
stick down
burned
there.
beam and sort of climb down there. One of the roof timbers, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's do that.
Grab that.
Who wants to go first?
We'll work together.
I'll do it. I'll let the pointer.
Ashcan Pete takes his pen light and goes down in there. Spot hidden?
What was that?
Makes a spot hidden?
Spot hidden? My dog's still back there.
Probably yelping this whole time.
36, that's going to be a success. 36 at 80 spot.
Seems good.
Okay.
Look, I'm good at scavenging.
You find
Art suggestion.
a musty old journal
No, I don't know how to read.
in the, well, too late for that, because it falls to pieces as you turn the pages. But the name Walter Corbett catches your eye. An entry records that Walter Corbett was buried in the basement of his house. In accordance with quote, in accordance with his wishes and with the wishes of the one who waits in the dark, end quote. In a wall safe that has been warped and busted open is an enormous volume. And you think it may be written in medieval French, but you're not an expert on that subject, so you're not sure.
I'll go down.
It is very rotten and worm-eaten.
Honestly, I'm surprised
Is
you
it
had
something-
any idea what it's written in at all.
Is that something you can pull out?
I may
Maybe. It's an old book in bad condition,
From the song?
which you are an expert in handling, but Ashcan Pete is not.
You read the frog book?
So he got buried in his basement.
In accordance with his wishes and the one who waits in darkness. Mean anything to you, Doc?
I'm gonna try going down.
You have Cthulhu Mythos skill, right?
Yes.
The Haunter of the Dark was the spiritual entity worshipped by the Boston cult Starry Wisdom during the 19th century. Armitage told you that the Starry Wisdom was based around the shining trapezahedron, an ancient artifact of incalculable power. It is said that the shining trapezahedron was responsible for the sinking of Atlantis. Armitage was in contact with a man who said that the shining trapezahedron was taken from the Starry Wisdom and dumped in Boston Harbor.
Good thing Boston's still here. I'm going to try to read the book.
Haunter of the Dark.
I'm good at history and I know French. I can probably read ancient
You
French.
recognize
How long
this
does it
book.
take you to read that? It's huge.
It is
It's probably only a few pieces of
it is an enormous volume. It is a quarto. It's about this big.
Is there anything,
Open, it's about this big.
what's legible? Like, is most of it legible?
There's
or-
no ancient tomes of this type do not have the title printed on the cover.
No. I mean, not like what's in the legend. What is
It's in
legible?
medieval French. There's parts of it that are legible, and you look through it and you recognize this book. It's kind of famous among Miskatonic University medieval metaphysics circles. This is the Liber Ivanis, the Book of Ibon.
I'm taking it with me.
Okay.
How much is it worth?
Well, you shouldn't just leave it here. It's worth the whole world.
I'm going
It's also kind of weird.
tenure.
I'll stick with it.
It's worth tenure.
Oh yeah, great. We could sell it to the nerds.
It's kind of weird to me that the church had a following and then left this giant manuscript.
It was a hidden area.
Well, it was hidden. Somebody knew about it.
Well, yeah,
The two dudes that
Probably
died.
these two skeletons over here.
that's
Who were like, we should totally escape with this Library of Honest. Oh, we're dead of fire.
Cults
The other
Great.
presumption is when this place burned down.
exist singular.
No, but they also don't spread information among.
You don't know how the fire started, or who started the fire, or if the fire was started by a person, or what the hell happened here.
That's pretty cool. Let's get the book out of here.
There's no doctors here.
Yes.
Give everyone a spot hidden.
I mean, I have a medical knowledge. That's what you mean.
You have first aid. You don't have medicine. You have medicine? Thomas Malone.
23 spot hidden. That's a 23 out of 80.
How about you guys? Yeah.
Go to it. Nope. Take out the iron key.
I got it.
While he's dicking around with the Library of Honest, wrapping it in like whatever he can find to wrap it in. There's like some oilcloth in here somehow, robes, whatever. Yeah, when he pulls the robes off the skeleton, somebody killed these guys with a shotgun.
Oh, wow. I point out the buckshot in their chest, I assume. Maybe parts of their skull.
Oh yeah, you can see it now. Somebody blew these guys away.
Are they not flayed? I assume they burned. Okay.
Asphyxiated maybe? There's skeletons there.
They're skeletons, not burnt.
Perhaps they...
Not in bodies, they're actually like.
sparkly buckshot in their.
Well, they may have roasted in the fire a little bit after the
So are they corpses or like
they're
legit
definitely-
skeletons?
They're like full-on skeletons.
Like no
Flesh
no
has been
meat.
burned away.
Yeah, all flesh is gone. Not even burned away, just gone.
Gone.
Because like if a burn
Gone.
victim doesn't have all the flesh isn't totally gone and the bones are the only thing.
Gone.
Wait up, Jay, wait up.
Okay.
What else is in the storage shed?
So,
Literally just a
so
box.
they were so way they where how are they laid out? Are they laid or
Like somebody shot them with a
they're
shotgun
just like
right in the chest.
all right? And I kind of try to figure it out. I do. Yeah, you can do.
Roll your forensics. So you don't have forensic skill because that doesn't exist in the 1920s. Unless you're Sherlock Holmes. He has forensics in the 19th century. He's badass. They have his stats in Cthulhu by Gaslight, you know. You can totally meet Sherlock Holmes in this game.
You can try intimidating the skeletons.
All right,
They are they do not respond to
I'm
it.
not sure if there's anything else.
but I can.
There is nothing else here.
But I do. There's a. Where's the entrance? Where's the secret entrance?
Oh, these stairs that are covered in rubble.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And does it look like the skeletons were back towards the when they were killed? Towards.
They were doing something with the Library of Honest.
In the safe, which is in the safe. Is there any other? You said there was also a cabinet down here.
The Avonis was in where the safe would be. You found the journal in the cabinet.
Okay.
Everything else was just not a clue.
Alright, so what? We we'll sleep out this night and resume in the morning?
I guess so.
Presumably, you're staying at Jackson Elias's house.
Yeah.
You
Show them the book we found. Maybe they'll give us money for it. That's our tenure.
Alright, we'll head back.
You want to give the Library of Honest to Jackson Elias?
No.
Okay. It's your book now. That book, it belongs in the Miskatonic University Museum.
Being guarded by top men.
Top men. Henry Armitage.
I'm just saying, finders keepers.
Professor Jonathan Wisdom.
Alright, let's head to...
Possession is 100% of the law here.
So you sleep over, and in the morning, what do you want to do?
We have to go to where do we have to go? We went to the library.
Well, we have
the library.
we haven't done the civic center, the
Hall of Records.
Hall of
Records.
So I guess we're going to the Hall of Records.
I want to look up to see what happened to Clarence Dooley.
Jay, the girl.
He was killed by mobsters.
But you might say, why
pretty
don't
much
you
swallowed that
let
one.
Garrett check it out?
It has all the
Front and scope it for him.
it has all the bearings of a red herring. No weird knives, no nothing.
We're going, but we all go in, we're all in.
So as you walk in, everybody roll for 6.
So you go to the Hall of Records.
Actually, well, first I'd like to stop off and buy a gun.
Okie doke. What's your
Maybe
firearm?
a shotgun.
It's the 1920s. Do you want a Tommy gun? They're available by mail order.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You have to mail order it.
There's not an actual Tommy gun that I can spot.
I'll give you one.
You know a guy who has a violin case in the back of his Rolls Royce.
That's true.
who, as you may remember, is a former gangster.
I'll probably ask him if he's staying at the same place. I'd probably, just
You're
see.
not going to borrow a gangster's
No,
Tommy gun.
I'm going to ask him if he knows.
That's his baby.
Where can I'm going to ask him if he knows where I can buy a gun.
I know some people who know some people who sell Tommy guns. How much you got? How old are you?
53.
Where's the investigator?
I got an extra shotgun. I don't think I really need two.
They say that now.
$40 on me. How much were Tommy guns in 1921?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
You really need a time again to go to the hall around.
Tommy, what's your submachine gun skill?
Oh, 0. I have nothing.
15% is minimum.
I mean, rifle shotgun is
A
25.
Tommy gun cost $200 in the 1920s.
That's what they paid a Tommy gun. Just get yourself a nice little pistol.
Yeah, then I get a revolver.
What's your firearms pistol skill?
It's not checked off.
So then you
So
have
it's
the
base.
So then you have
25.
the
20%.
At point blank range, your skill is double. That's not too bad.
There you
As long
go.
as you're indoors. The correct move is 2 double-barreled shotguns, because you can do 16 die 6 to someone, sawed off. And then if they take 16 die 6 damage and don't die, then you know that is now the time to run and use your movement stat. So you want
I want 2 shotguns. I'm cool with that too.
a pistol? You can get 2 shotguns and then you can saw them off with a hawk
Yeah,
saw.
I have $40 cash on me, so I assume that's how much I can actually afford.
Oh dear. No, or you can spend up to your spending limit per day without any, I think it's $10 for you.
It's $10 cash at 40.
You can spend that every day without record keeping. Constance Wrigley has a spending limit of $5,000. Every day she can spend $5,000 and not worry about marking it down. She's actually quite an awesome character. 38 revolver costs you $25. Does 1 die 10 damage. Cheaper ones will do less damage. 45. Does 1 die 10 plus 2 cost you $30.
I'll go with that. That's marked down that I.
Okay, you have a 45 from 1911. It's very nice. Automatic, very modern. Made to take down guys who go amok in the Philippines. The Shadow uses 2 of them. He's very awesome.
There you go.
He's not out yet. Is he out in the 20s? I don't know.
In the 20s, yeah.
We'll say he is. We'll say he's a character that is in New York right now. The Shadow. So the next day you go out and you buy a gun, and then what? Go to the Hall of Records, register your firearm.
I'm an American, sir. We don't need to register shit.
I don't have to register. Are you a socialist?
Are you a commie?
Russia? Is it Russia's communist? Yes, it is
Are
communist.
you a Bolshevik here, sir?
Yes,
1930s pulp novel for the Shadow.
Okay, you go down to the Hall of Records. You talk to some Hall of Records people, and since you're a professor and one guy's a PI and he has a PI license, they let you in.
All right, the homeless guy with the dog
These are those dumb ideas.
And like you do those.
The dog's house problem.
No, he doesn't have a house, so it's obviously not shitting in his house.
Exactly. Never had to worry about it.
This is a terrible guy.
Duke, you have to go.
Civil court records show that the executor of Walter Corbett's will was Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord, Granter of Secrets.
Oh yeah. I'm like, guys, what's going on?
The Register of Churches, also available in the Hall of Records. The Register of Churches, also available in the Hall of Records, notes the closure of the Chapel of Contemplation in 1918. That is what you get from spending a few hours at the Hall of Records.
Totally a trustworthy organization right there.
Why do cults always have such burning names?
Sounds better.
Looks better on stationery.
Yeah, looks better on stationery. Typography.
Takes up like a third of the page.
Does anyone have the law skill?
Yeah. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Some guy just shout out.
You suspect that
Cult is blah 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 blah. It's just gonna
you suspect that there might be additional information in the criminal court records.
It's not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's more.
That's what the word on the street is.
Yeah, you know, the police department probably didn't take kindly to that.
Or you're big enough.
Yeah, it's not, you know, the Catholic Church probably has a very long name. But
Probably had like 3 titles and a page.
We're gonna head to the police station.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my 1911 in my.
Let's keep all that.
First, the professor, who's smart, makes sure that the criminal court records are not held at the Hall of Records, which they are not. So, whatever that is. I should make you go to the police station and go back. That'd be fun. So you go to the Central Police Station and the higher courts down in Boston City Center. As a private investigator, you have a contact there, a person named Kim DeBrun, a clerk in the court offices.
Ah, sweet.
You know Kim to be unscrupulous and susceptible to bribery.
With 50 cents.
I don't have a lot going on here.
Well, we have a charmer, don't we?
I mean, you're soon to be taken,
Constance
right?
Wrigley's charm skill is 90.
Great.
Soon to be taken.
Does that work on women?
It works on everyone. It's like 90.
Well, someone should have played Constance.
That's not
You'd think she's so useless. The spoiled rich girl.
Yeah.
She's so awesome.
What's the credit rating at 10 like?
Well, you're not a bum.
Sure.
It is the minimum.
Alphabetical C's is skill.
A credit rating of 10 is the bare minimum to be a private investigator.
Oh, 0.
Okay.
That's the bare minimum to be also the maximum for hobo.
So then, what kind of money would I have to be able to bribe with?
It's on the back of your character sheet.
It is not.
It's not on the back. Oh, I did not complete that section.
If it doesn't look like it's gonna reach your drive.
Okay, your credit rating is 10. So your well, it should be on the back.
5,2,500 since I'm 20.
You are not a huge wealthy guy.
No, I'm not.
But you know,
You are 1 point above poor, and you are just got into average wealth.
could
Your cash available is $20.
could she have a crush on him, and therefore he can promise her a date?
I think a $10.
Well, that's a charm. That's a charm. Right?
So,
Your assets on hand, the equipment that you have, is CR times 50.
Like immediately.
So $500 worth of assets. That's basically your equipment list.
Because I would have been surprised that it.
And your spending level is $10. You can spend $10 per day and not worry about bookkeeping on that. That's like that's just what you spend every day on whatever it is that you
I'll have to throw
spend.
$10 at this Kim dude.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Roll your charm, persuade, or
talk.
intimidate, or fast talk.
I'm about 75, so I fail.
push it.
Yeah, so he's gonna turn around.
The
No,
judge
you gotta
is-
listen to me. I'm working
The
on
judge
this
is
case.
in today. You can't really.
I'm gonna actually put my arm around him and pull him away
So you're
from
pushing the die roll to re-roll.
How much do you have to spend?
$10.
$10?
No! And 3.
Oh my God! He screams out loud. He goes, "You can't do this to me! Get out of here, Kowalski! You're nothing but a scumbag! And and there's a whole scene
I'll
now.
see you when you're less angry. Don't worry.
Love you.
So he kicks them out of the courthouse, and there's like cops everywhere looking at what the hell?
I mean,
And so these 2 double barrel shotguns are
not with
heavy.
I'm not with them. So what are you gonna do, Professor?
So apparently $10 in X21 is $134.
Yeah, it's a pretty
That's a no shit amount of money.
it's a pretty decent amount of money.
Yeah.
For a clerk.
I gave him $10 and I failed twice.
And he got thrown
I
out.
didn't even get an advantage.
Nope. Well, you got to roll twice.
So this was a dude, right?
Yeah. Kim is a unisex name.
Oh, he's Asian. Wow, this is.
Well, that's not his last name. DeBrun is his last name. That sounds French. Did you want to try something with the courthouse?
Yeah. As he's yelling, he probably has to go take a break. I'm going to try to talk to his replacement.
Okay. You talk to another court clerk. Go ahead and roll your credit rating, persuade, or charm. Constance Wrigley has a charm of 90% and a credit rating of 90, which is the minimum you need to be rich.
No chance. Try persuade.
Good sir.
I got 3%.
Okay, you have impaled the die roll, so he gives you everything, which is this. He gives you the Chapel of Contemplation file, which seems really thin to you once you go through it. And he lets you take it with you out of the courthouse because you rolled a 3. Well, you get like a copy. They make like ditto machine copies.
Very persuasive.
A professor from Miskatonic. You know my cousin is. Anyway.
My daughter's in your, or my son's in your class.
Maybe you can put a good.
He says you're an asshole.
If I give you these files, will you pass them? I don't want him moving back in with us. Come on, Mystic Studies. What is he going to do with that?
What a worthless degree.
Great. Look forward to seeing him at Starbucks. I'm not saying that online. I'm sorry.
Metaphysical professors.
So you've got the Chapel of Contemplation file. You look through it. It seems kind of thin, but as if they didn't really put everything in there because they didn't want the chapel raid, the secret police chapel raid.
Finding all the dead children's bodies in the basement
with the
with
dead
their organs
children.
and turned
Well,
out.
anyway, so you got the file, and you don't want to go through it here because it's kind of weird.
Oh yeah.
Take it out of there, and your police or
Yeah.
something.
Put a little attaché
The
case.
Library of Honest is at Jackson Elias's house. He locks it in a safe. He's got a basement safe that's like a gun safe. And he takes some guns out and he puts the Library of Honest in.
There's a piece of paper in it that says property of professor.
Yeah, it's marked. So Jackson Elias is not a thief. Okay, come on. He's a good guy. Meanwhile, so where do you want to look at the police file?
The Model T?
Well, it just looks like a file, right?
Do we have anywhere else to go?
Let's get lunch.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So you go to a place that has like a nice private booth in the back.
They got a nice 1920s diner, like one of those box cars that just moved it and shut down and was like, diner! Boom!
Boom. I think those are from the 50s, but I don't care. They have that exact diner that you described.
Get some chowder.
Get some Boston corn chowder, soup chowder, clam chowder, it's all good. Chowder.
Chowder.
Got some chowder? Here's our chowder, sir.
Right outside the park.
No chowder for you!
I noticed that your socks are very nice today.
Yes, sir. Why, thank you. No holes. And
So this file concerns a...
I assume you guys are buying because I got 50 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian,
50 cents
I give all my money to kids.
Yep, he has to pay for you, sorry.
Thanks for lunch, drop.
Thanks, Doc. It's on the professor.
Tenure, right?
Tenure.
And here.
That book's
I can
everywhere.
spend up to up to $10.
So you can still
Plenty for
plenty for three.
I'm sure you can buy lunch.
$132 in a diner.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
gotta think you can still buy 2 Happy Meals for that now.
I'm pretty sure this
Buy
is.
like 5 or 6 chicken sandwiches.
Remember, this is a time when like 2 bits, like you get 2 quarters. That would get you the meal. One of those would get you the meal.
Fries.
So this file concerns a secret raid on the Chapel of Contemplation. The police raid was occasioned with affidavits, which are in this file, swearing that members of the church were responsible for the disappearances of neighborhood children. During the raid, 3 policemen and 17 cult members were killed by gunfire. Oh, I'm sorry, 19 cult members. Autopsy reports are singularly lacking detail and uninformative, as though the coroner had not actually performed examinations. Although 54 members of the church were arrested, all but 8 were released. Records hint of an illegal intervention in the proceedings by an important local official, offering stories of the battle, the biggest criminal action in the city's history, never appeared in print. Pastor Michael Thomas was arrested and sentenced to 40 years in prison on 5 counts of second-degree murder. He escaped from prison in 1919 and is assumed to have fled the state.
And that's the guy who
Is the executor
of Walter
Corbett's will, which you are not able to locate. But you are certain that the pertinent detail you have.
So this white chamber.
Last, do we want to try the sanitariums? So
That's suitably spooky.
As I said, I'm detecting people up ahead, so everybody be on your guard.
You're not in Arkham, where they have the spookiest asylum in the world, but it's probably pretty close.
I think there's people interned there.
Well, we know that the kids went back to Europe. Cargos were put in some asylum sites.
So we'll see if we can go visit them.
I think we know what's haunting the place, though. There's a body buried in the basement.
Yeah.
And I have visions of the knife, a floating knife in this. So if you were to try to grab a floating knife that's stabbing you, it would look like you are stabbing yourself.
True.
Yeah, because they committed suicide.
Yes.
But
And
they didn't.
but everything was stabbing.
That's if we
Did
trust.
they?
That's if we trust Mr. Pete here and his.
No, his visions are legit. I just made up that word. It's my word.
Taking it back.
It's short for legitimate.
Yes. And I shorten it.
It
And I
helps me
shorten
get
the
through
word.
conversations fast.
All the kids love it. TTYL.
They think it's the bee's knees.
Oh, golly gee, Mr. Professor, that is sure swell.
All the hep cats are saying it.
Yes. All the flappers and speakies, as we're saying.
I'm down with the young generation.
The next day you go out to the Roxbury Sanitarium,
Oh, okay. We know the asylum there.
right?
Let's go to the asylum.
He got the asylum.
I'm sorry. My bad.
How do you want to approach the asylum?
With Tommy guns.
Only you had a medical doctor.
Well, I'm also a private investigator.
I have psychology.
True, but you
Between
don't have a
us,
degree.
we can get in, just like the last one.
Psychology in this game is how you tell if people are lying to you when you interview them.
What you're thinking of is psychoanalysis. Do you have that?
No.
Can you bullshit?
But I have the law.
I do not. He's fast talker. I'm just persuader.
I can intimidate.
So you go over there and you
I can
flash
compare
your
it.
private investigator license. And they don't give a shit. They let you in.
It's the hard part getting out.
Yeah, really. They just lock you in.
They're like, oh, you
Hello, Doc.
That's not the hard part of insane asylum. The hard part is getting out. Yes, I'm
They
saying.
pay us per head count. They don't care which head.
And like, you bring like some nice stuff for the people there, and it's like a care package or whatever, and it's all good.
I probably have.
I don't like to talk about it.
I don't
You
like
won't
to
recognize some of the electrodes on there.
Doc, you study the mind.
Well, we're looking for a Macario.
There's two. The Macario couple is here, Gabriella and Vittorio. They're apparently Italian. Who do you want to see first, the husband or the wife?
The husband.
Okay. Vittorio Macario is quite mad. He continually clasps a Bible to his chest. And all he says over and over again is, by his own weapons the devil is worsted. By his own weapons the devil is worsted. By his own weapons the devil worsted. You recognize this as a Bible quote. But it's misquoted.
Can you do anything about this guy or no?
I can try.
That's psychoanalysis.
I want to slap him.
Okay,
Psychoanalysis?
he freaks out and goes catatonic.
Man, you got
in
a
the
1%.
Yeah, I got a 1%
In
chance.
some world, you succeed this roll. Is it this one?
It's some more.
No.
Not
Yeah,
this
he
one.
freaks out and goes catatonic in the corner. He does not respond to you.
Alright, let's go find
Fight, no matter how much abuse you put on it. Gabriella Macario is conscious and approachable. And when you start talking to her, she explains an evil presence lives in the house. At night, sometimes she would wake to find the thing leaning over her.
What thing?
The man with burning eyes. When it was angry, the thing might cause dishes or other objects to fly around the room. It hated her husband Vittorio and concentrated its anger on him.
Why did it hate your husband?
I don't know, because we lived in the house. I think it wanted us out.
A quote saying that Victorio's quoting doesn't mean anything.
He would always say that. Our boys are in Baltimore. My parents. They would always have nightmares of a strange man with burning eyes. That's all she can tell you.
And why did they keep her in here?
Oh, she has bad episodes. As they explained to her, she has bad episodes. Please be. And then, the doctor comes in and goes, "Oh no, this visit is over. She needs her rest." Blah blah blah.
Time for your lobotomy.
Do we know what Bible quote he's misquoting? Do you know what book it's in? What it's saying?
Doesn't really matter.
When did
Revelations. That's the creepiest book, so we'll give it that.
There you go.
I don't know. Have you read John?
What's the last one?
Did you want to read the Library of Honest at all
well, so the kids
before
are in
going to
Baltimore,
the house?
Not in Europe.
I mean, I did. Yeah.
It will take
Train to
you.
Baltimore?
Okay, roll your medieval French.
I have French. And I also have
Is that
history.
nearby? I have no idea.
Or history. History works.
I'm thinking that's not nearby.
I succeed. 54 out of 70.
So you spend a few hours going through the book and making notes and doing scholarly stuff with the Library of Honest. You may increase your Cthulhu Mythos skill by 2%. And you can reduce your maximum sanity by the same amount.
So your maximum sanity is increased by so you're going to go to 12 and your maximum sanity will be what? 88?
99 minus 2.
And then minus 87.
So there are sections in the book that talk about
Is there a way out of
wards that one can put on one's flesh to protect oneself from harm. but it's woefully incomplete. So you are now aware of the existence of this flesh ward spell, but do not actually know it.
Probably for the best. Also,
What, you don't want to ward your flesh? Warding your flesh is great. What are you talking about?
So, if there's anything going on in the house, it seems like if there's anything, it probably has to do with Corbin. It's probably very good.
it seems likely.
Okay. And what type of spirit is this? Out of character?
I have no idea.
I mean, I think it needs the corpse. Like maybe he's inhabiting the house.
Well, she said it was leaning over her. Is he like rising from the grave?
Vampire, maybe?
If there was a wraith, I would.
Well, people are getting stabbed, not drained of blood.
And again, I'm kind of seeing
Well,
the thing is if I'm
the
being stabbed
newspaper
by a
may have
floating
left
knife
that
and tried to
detail
grab
out.
it, it's really easy to make it look like I'm stabbed.
Sure,
myself.
but like we just don't have reports. People just drained blood.
Yes, sure. No vampire.
So
She said moving dishes and knock more, but the whole point of leaving both.
but if the house itself is haunted, do we want to get a way of burning down the house in case it, has an oh shit clause?
You don't think Mr. Knott would like that?
But
I think Mr. Knott might be insured, and this might be the best way to not.
you have to go in the basement. He's buried in the basement.
Burn the house down, and then what? He's still buried down there.
We can dig him up.
Assuming that he's buried down there. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's buried next door. I don't know.
But that's what it says. It says he was buried in the basement. His wishes.
Yeah, that's what the church said.
Shovels and
Someone's
pickaxes.
gonna dig him up. He could have left.
Yeah, I can pick up a couple shovels.
I think shovels, pickaxes, in case it's like concrete over it or something like that.
Yeah.
So you get your vandalism tools at the ready.
We'll need.
Because the dishes flying and the stabbing yourself sounds appropriately ghastly, but he's buried there.
We'll need to purchase a flashlight for our Good Hope opener.
Somebody have a big sheet of scratch paper. Big sheet.
I have many little sheets of scratch paper.
I have a little sheet already.
This is a big sheet of scrap paper. If you need it.
Because like it might not have anything to do with the body. Like it could just be a house. In which case we burn it down.
Yeah.
But we have to convince him. Burn it. I still think.
No, we don't have to convince them of anything if we're doing the world favor.
But we still have to deal with what's in the basement.
Well, we should, because like if we burn the house down and then the problem is in the basement, we shot ourselves in the foot.
We should check it. But
Based on the chapel, the problem's in the basement.
And based on the police, the chapel's a problem. And anything the chapel like we know.
what could we do about a flying knife?
Wooden shield.
Windshield?
Wooden shield.
Something to catch the knife when it goes
To
in.
keep medium and force it into something soft that will make it stick. I think you do. It's kind of weird, kind of medieval, but going in there with wooden shields, pickaxes, and spelunky gear, we draw attention to ourselves.
Who are you guys? Don't mind us!
This is an incredibly shitty map of the first floor. There's a second floor also, and presumably a basement. The double entry doors are here. There's a back door here, as you follow Duke all the way around. And these guys here, there's 2 windows here, 2 windows here, 2 windows here. All the windows are boarded and shuttered.
I would like to know, by the way, Wrigley has $5,000 that she can spend without worrying about it.
Yep.
Which is the equivalent of $67,000 right now.
Every day.
She can just buy the house.
Yep.
Wait 3 days.
Yep.
Purchase the house. Then burn it down.
Yep.
So among our various
Yep. Easily do that. That'd be like, you want to do that? Do that.
among our various ghost busting supplies, I think that includes like 2 or 3 pieces of press board to try to capture the knife.
I definitely agree with.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think of bringing it in as a shield and just. So we could probably get that wood no problem.
Oh yeah, wood would not be a problem.
But softer, you don't want it to, or you want it soft enough to it gets in there and
Oh, 17.
then.
Is there anything else we could do before we walk into this place and try to exercise?
I mean,
Well, you want a local diocese? Let's see if we can find. See if we can convince.
Let's do that. Let's do a legitimate exorcism.
It is Boston. There's a big Catholic population there. There is a bishop over there.
And at worst, the local diocese is squishy and also soft.
You've also heard that.
That's the only way I think of doing it.
Yeah.
Can you come here and exercise this for us? What are you bringing? He's got shotguns.
We have like a
Shotgun,
pickaxe
pistol,
for a back, holding shotguns.
and shield and giant piece.
We need an exorcism.
Just need, maybe we could.
One of us is a hobo, the other one's an older professor.
You guys play Call of Duty before? Do you know this one?
Never played this.
I have played this one before.
I played
I'm not
this.
saying anything about what's going on.
Okay.
I just generally think shovels is a good idea.
He's buried in his basement.
And if one of you guys die, you can dig a grave right there. Okay?
And pickaxes is always
It's just
useful.
convenient for everyone
Yeah.
involved.
So we want to go to a Catholic church.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
go to a Catholic church.
And then what?
We're going to recruit the priest to perform an exorcism in the house.
We have
Okay.
compelling evidence and belief that there's
Your Cthulhu mythos skill leads you to believe that that would be ineffective.
Mind blessing some silver.
Do I know any priests that would be effective?
No. Well,
Alright guys, let's get
yes,
on this
Professor Jonathan Wisdom back at Miskatonic might be able to do something. Armitage is good too. They're busy. Wisdom is supposedly on a trip to Scotland, and who knows what the hell Armitage is up
Do
to.
I have a canteen full of holy water?
It is
Sure.
as effective as anything else in my mind.
It has the exact same stats as regular water.
So, the devil's room just got here. Thank you.
No devil.
I just think cleansing
Either.
fire is probably the best bet, but that's just me.
What was it? Burned down?
Cleansing fire,
Nothing more pure than fire?
especially when fed by
Did we
gas.
buy gasoline?
I think we bought-
Just in case?
Yeah, we have gas. We have to buy
just
gas.
in case.
Yeah, some extra kinds of gas.
We had to,
Just in case.
just wanted to make sure we didn't get stuck out there.
At least the Library of Honest will survive.
Don't worry about that yet.
So I guess we go back to the house priestless.
Well, the first time we were there.
Now we're going to go to the
No, I
house.
feel like we got up to the house. We should get a priest.
You talk to the priest and he's like, oh no, I'm not going to that house.
I like the idea we go to the house and you two go, we should go to a priest, pull away, and the fuck's a priest gonna, no!
And we get back and you tell us what it is.
Alright,
right,
we are
retcon.
bringing wood. Bring wooden shields or makeshift wood.
Yeah, we're just like,
You get some garbage can lids off of
no,
places.
we need to
like-
do wood.
we have,
What wooden shit?
we bought our press board.
Wood catches
Oh,
knives.
you want to catch it in the thing and then you can maybe grab it.
Yeah, maybe pin it down.
That's a good plan. Sure, that might work.
If it's a thing, I
You
don't
know,
know.
flesh catches knives
Still thought your
too,
dreams
so.
are bad in the house.
I know, I'm right on with my dream. Flying knives makes sense. So it's a leap, but
And consider this: none of us here are children, so the likelihood of us dying is very low.
that's true. Knives seems a
That
little
makes sense. Sure, it sounds
Maybe you can
legit.
swing by an orphanage again.
Where do you want to go in?
That may be better than
Do we have the
This
floor
entire
plans?
campaign turns
This
into
is
a
what
foster
you see from the
adoption
outside.
movement.
So we didn't get any of the floor plans.
2 windows here, 1 window there. This house was built in like early 1800s. They don't even have floor plans.
All right, yeah.
So,
Front doors.
front door.
Okay, you open.
Good minutes.
You take the keys and you open the front door. There are 8 locks.
Then we have 7 keys.
There you have all the keys.
Cool.
So it opens into a long hallway.
probably not serving faster.
With 3 single doors on this side. A double doors right here. And a single door at the end here. You shine your flashlights all the way down the hall. There's another door here and stairs going up.
Yeah, this was built a long time ago. This floor plan is doofy.
Well, double doors probably gonna go to the basement, so let's try the singles.
The double doors look nice.
Yeah.
We
No one's gonna be like, oh, here's this nice opening to my basement.
Okay, hold on. The brick building is overshadowed by taller, newer office buildings on either side. The house fronts the street. In the rear are overgrown plantings and a half-collapsed arbor. Access to the rear exists on either side of the residence. Studying the house, the observer is impressed by the way the house seems to withdraw into the shadows cast by the flanking buildings, and how the blank curtained windows hide all understanding of what lies within.
So if the house is haunted, like if it's the house, then we need to already have checked the basement. Is that right? Because we want to check to see if the basement's the issue. And if it's not the issue, then we attack the house proper.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the basement.
Do we go up at all?
I don't think we go up at all until we discover the basement.
Alright, pickaxe in hand, we go in for basement.
Yeah. So we've all got, just to be clear, shotgun, 2 shotguns, handgun. We've each got pickaxe, shovel, a makeshift wooden shield, gasoline and matches.
I assume the shield is at the ready.
Yeah, I'm carrying the shield. Okay, the shield
And
and the
a
shotgun.
flashlight.
Can I?
Maybe only one person should carry a flashlight, so when they
Well,
get stabbed,
if
it'll
duct
be
tape
dark.
was,
I've got
if,
the
they-
flash-
if duct tape was available, I'd duct tape the flashlight to the shotgun.
I've got a flashlight, so I'll do the whole flashlight thing. Primarily because
You have no skill.
I have no skill in actually shooting anything.
All right.
But like this could be totally ghastly or ghostly. I don't know if it's shotgun. I think we beeline for the basement and start digging. is what we
Yeah,
do.
but I have the shield. I have my shield up. If I don't have anything, it's a shield and a flashlight.
I'll be behind you with a weapon. Okay. Just in case that matters.
So you are
So
here.
we're going Roman Legion on this. You've got the shield, he's got the shotgun.
You've got extra light.
We just keep looking behind us every once
The
in a while.
worst thing that could happen is attacks from behind.
So where do you want to go first?
I'd say open up the doors that don't look like double, like, and it looks like it might go to the basement.
Yeah, considering
Those look kind of nice. All the other doors are more or less identical.
Pretty dingy.
So let's open up the first
Hit up the
identical.
first one on the left.
So you open this door right here.
is the dog coming in?
Yeah. No?
We're in the right place.
You'd have to roll an animal handling roll
I got that.
to get him into the house.
All right, dude. Come on,
Not
boy.
want to come.
I got animal.
Oh man, if that knife stabs that dog, oh, that'd be just a damn shame.
I'm good with animals. Dude, come on, boy.
Roll a bonus die with that.
Okay. Trying to figure out where's animal handling.
I don't even know if it's on there.
It's not on our,
It's not.
by default.
Roll a persuade or charm or fast talk or intimidate.
Bad dog. I'll use an intimidate.
Get in there, dude.
Bad dog, come to me.
Roll up a newspaper.
Come here, boy.
Oh, 90, 88, 89.
Oh, Duke runs away.
Damn dog.
Meanwhile,
Is it my
you
food in half?
Yeah.
open room 1.
He's dropped a gas can to it.
I got Duke.
Is the room a basement?
No.
Can we close the door now?
Well, hold on. This room is filled with boxes and junk, such as rusted water tanks and old bicycles. At the right end of the room is a cupboard, boarded shut.
Okay, we close the door.
Close the door.
Yep. Garage.
Junk room.
Where do you go next?
Next one on the left.
This room right
Yeah,
here.
that looks.
Okay, this is room 2.
Okay.
This room contains old furniture that might be broken up to burn in a wood stove.
Is your notes say just?
Junk room. A junk room and a sheet of furniture.
Okay, you hear rattling upstairs.
Rattling upstairs.
How soft is the wood?
Rattling upstairs?
This is the kindling room. Make note of it. Shut the door.
Close the door.
Okay.
That makes it seems ghostly, right?
Yes.
Because we know we're going to the basement.
The scenario is called The Haunting, by the way. So,
Thank you.
in case you were wondering.
People say we had to look for the basement. I'll keep an eye on the stairs. Keep an eye on
What
the
if there are squatters here? Like, what if,
No
wait, no,
squatters
it was
here.
locked, right? Was there any?
It was the
It was
squatters.
locked and there were squatters.
The squatters are here. No squatter. No one will take your stuff.
He talked to some of the local
They stay-
squatters, and they are freaked out. None of them will come near this place.
No one. Next door.
Which looks like either left or right now.
Keep going.
Let's go with left because the stairs are going up there, so the stairs down might be
Okay,
here.
this is room 3. It has a door to the outside. This is the mud room. Here hang overcoats, galoshes, hats, and umbrellas. Several bags of coal are for the living room's freestanding stove right here. You notice that the side door is secured with 3 bolts and 2 locks.
This is the other way out. This is the back door.
I'm going to unlock all of them. Unlock them. I'm not going to open them, but I'm just going to lock them.
Okay, you unlock 3 bolts and 2 locks.
Alright, just like another exit.
Let's leave this door open. Not the one you did, but to this one.
Okay, we'll leave this one open. And
You open the door.
No,
No.
the door. Basically,
door to room 30.
When you looked in here, shut this door. Look in here, shut this door.
You're going to leave this door
open and this door unlocked.
And closed.
And closed.
Unlocked and closed.
Plus 1 attack damage, minus 1 AC.
Okay,
And then we check the other standard door across the
Yeah,
way.
directly across.
check this door right here.
Yep.
You never know when one extra hit point can pull it off.
Okay, this is some walls and an open space there.
Oh, yeah.
And we got oh, it's up.
This is a wall here, like such. This is room 6,
Yes, you cannot.
the kitchen.
Check for knives.
One stabbed you in the eye. No.
Or shut the door right now.
I think shut the door right now.
Kitchen knives?
Well, okay, conventional kitchen icebox, wood-fed stove and oven, plus a meager larder. Some of the foodstuffs might be edible.
What?
You immediately notice that.
Oh.
There's produce, but anything that's not been spoiled has been eaten by rats.
Good bit.
You close that door.
That room had an archway. And this next door in the basement.
Yeah, it also had that blocked off in the basement.
Oh, you're right.
That seems more likely than the big room with the fancy door next to the kitchen. Is probably
Yeah, the first floor.
standing.
It's like living room.
You hear a door slam upstairs,
I have the
and
weapon.
the rattling continues.
I have the weapon. I'll watch the stairs, and you guys check the stairs. So I'm gonna turn and with my sawed-off shotgun, keep an eye on the stairs because they are behind me, opening whatever this door is.
Okay, so you're gonna watch these stairs up.
Yep.
They're gonna open this door. These are stairs down.
And plus that's the
All right.
I'm angrier than normal.
That's convenient. I like the stairs are down and down.
I'll head on. I'll start looking, go down the stairs.
Okay.
Do the
I'll
spot
pull out
check to
stairs
see,
and
looking
so
for
you know.
weaknesses in the stairs. Are wood stairs? I assume?
Oh, sweet.
They are very rickety
Okay.
and creaking and spooky.
I hear you descend. What we find?
I'm holding. I'll pull out the second shield.
I will.
Slowly follow me.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk behind.
But looking,
But looking up. Yeah.
I don't even know what it
And then once I'm in, I feel like I closed the door. If they come down, I'll hear it open.
rats.
Sorry.
Just rats.
Just go in the door and they close it. It's fine.
They're rats.
What's that problem? Just rats. Don't worry. Get down to the basement.
Big rats. Get in the basement. I'm
I've seen them.
They're big rats.
When the homeless don't squat there for a while, the rats get large.
What's your order of going downstairs?
He's going down first with the
He's got
shield.
his pen light going down.
No, he's got the flashlight.
He's got the flashlight going down.
Over the shield.
Yeah, over the shield.
Dungeons
I
and
pull out the
Dragons
second
style.
shield and a flashlight.
And I'm walking backwards, so I'm last, but I'm walking up the stairs.
The door to the basement has a lock and 3 bolts, which you are able to open from the upstairs side only. Below is the main basement storage room.
No, I say destroy the vault.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Alright, turn around. I'm gonna shoot up the
Okay, you
lights.
blow up the locks. So now the door cannot be locked.
Oh, that would be super bad. If someone came downstairs and locked us in the basement.
Yeah.
Or someone who can float a knife around can do things too, you know, like lock you in.
Yeah.
Click. So
I think Ashcan
I'm gonna reload.
Okay.
Shoot that out, reload. So I can still get my 2 shots.
below is the main basement storage room. The stairs are in poor repair and the electric light bulb does not work.
Inconvenient!
The walls of the basement are lined with closely fitted boards.
What's the floor like?
It looks like a normal house foundation.
Okay, it could be dirt or it could be wood.
I mean, if you know the 1800s, it's dirt.
And it's a
But somebody put a foundation in.
We got big axes, right?
Yeah, we do.
yeah.
It's not concrete, but it's not just dirt either.
So it's like matted
Cobblestone?
It's like all kinds of crud, stone and wood and layers.
Does it look like? Does it look disturbed in any way? I mean, like some patch looks different.
No.
It was buried like 100 years ago or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, if this thing is
They
like,
probably put stuff over him if they bury
well,
it.
yeah, it might look different. Like if you replace
Yeah, no,
some floorboards.
I agree that it might look different, but the fact that it doesn't make me think it's
No,
not here.
It was more. Like,
Definitely going to use my spot.
Okay, everyone roll spot hidden.
Spot hidden.
Hidden it!
Spot hidden, survey says.
I failed.
I got an extreme success.
I got a 3.
Okay, 2 extreme successes.
And 1 failure.
Don't worry.
The professor doesn't notice anything.
Three,
With the lights, you see nothing.
literally 3. Yeah, the professor shit his pants right now. He's right now. He's going through all the stuff.
Every step you go down, your eyes dilate.
There's a bright flash of light
Ah, correct.
as the light bulb explodes.
Okay. Go to the next room.
Professor,
Yep.
how many hit points do you have? You're so lucky. Oh my god, you're so lucky. But he has a bonus die because you're not looking.
Leave me behind in the hallway. Not coming, you guys.
You have been stabbed in the back, Professor.
YouTuber.
That's not good. That's not good.
Lots of different plants for you. It looks like walnut plants. There's various kinds.
Everyone. Oh no, that's later.
Tiny watermelons.
There we go. Okay, perfect. Oh dear. You have taken. Oh, lucky. 3 points of damage. If you fall to 1 or 2 points, you have to roll con every turn to stay conscious. If you fall to 0, you have to roll con every turn or die.
So 3 points.
Yeah. If you get a first aid, it'll heal 1 point right away per wound, and you can apply first aid per wound. So keep track of each wound separately. So you have been slashed open with a knife, which then flies up the stairs.
Up the stairs?
Yep.
So it went by me.
It slashed his back open and flew up the stairs.
Which way does the basement door open?
It opens out. So from inside, it would open out.
It opens into the land.
Yeah.
Did it leave the room?
Yes. Hold on. Roll. The people who made their sanity checks. Made their spot hidden. Roll sanity.
How many cherries are there? One watermelon?
Nope.
Okay, you have lost.
No problem. 32.
Okay, you lose 1 point of sanity and are freaked out. You also lose 1 point of sanity because I rolled a 1. Very lucky.
Okay, so since I'm in the back and it zooms by me, because the door has the locks shot out of it, I'm assuming it's missing a wide click shut. I want to take my pickaxe and use the.
You want to shut the door.
To reach on the other side of the door and hold it shut.
Okay. You pull on the door to pickaxe and hold it shut.
Yep.
Don't hear the knife on the other side because it's not hitting the door. That's for
Does
sure.
the door have any area under it? Like, is it
A little bit.
Is it seam close?
It is 1 die 6 centimeters. 3 centimeters. You think the knife might be able to slip under there?
How big did the knife feel?
Butcher knife sized.
Okay.
Oh man.
Slash you up. You are bleeding.
Screw that. If you can just get under there, I say we all back down and I'll keep it down at the door.
Yep.
Or do you want to do it? Because I can go to work on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try applying first aid to myself.
Okay.
Oh, I can do that. I will help you. I have first aid kit.
Okay, both of you roll. If you do you want to help him or do you want to help the professor or does the professor want to help you?
It's only 3 points, so I just wanted to try.
You get a point back. Why not?
So success on my part.
Okay, you have healed 1 hit point.
Stop the bleeding.
You're like.
Sounds good.
I'd say you guys like try to figure out where body might be.
Yep.
Blood starts pouring from underneath the door
That's totally how it works, right?
Which door?
onto the stairs where you are currently standing.
Freaky.
Yeah, I start looking at the basement. He's got to be buried here somewhere.
Can you describe the basement again?
I start looking for.
I just want to hear what its description is.
The basement. The basement door is locked with 2 walls. The stairs and portal repair. The electric light bulb does not work. The walls of the basement are lined with closely fitted boards.
So maybe he's buried on the side. So I'll pull off the boards.
We have pickaxes.
You go for the side, I'll go down.
Okay, I'll start pulling boards off the
The
sides.
knife can come under the door anyway, so I'm useless here.
Yeah.
So
I'll pull out I will pull out the board.
yeah, you gotta get clear to the wall and be on the ground.
Okay, you pickaxe some boards. Where are you pickaxing?
I'll start on the basement.
Where's the closely fitted board? Is that all across the way?
All 4 walls have boards.
Well, not where the stairs are.
I'll go straight up.
Okay, so you're hitting here. What about you?
I'm waiting with a giant thing of wood.
Okay.
And you got no blood.
So can I overwatch?
I'm pickaxing the ground.
Please roll your strength.
Mine?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, someone shoves you, but you do not fall down the stairs.
Okay.
What do I roll for overwatch? What do I roll for
Oh, don't worry about that yet.
Shows me in which
I think
direction.
as you were coming down.
Okay,
Got it. Going downstairs.
Yeah.
I catch myself
the
as I
wall.
come down and I start going to the ground.
You hit the wall. The
I mean, because it's otherwise, I guess there would be a food. You could do a
foul odor emanates from the area that you break as you start slamming on the wall. And all of a sudden, you are covered in rats. Ah! So many rats.
I'm covered in food.
Then suddenly, rats.
Do you want to fight back, or do you want to dodge?
Dodge!
Okay,
Jump
you
back!
Dodge.
Roll percentage.
48. Okay.
Oh, way low.
You have successfully brushed off many of these rats that are overwhelming you. More pour out of the wall onto the floor.
There's a door down here?
No, he busted through he busted through
What's
some.
this little compartment?
Oh, this? Well, you're at the top of the stairs. You
No, he's not. He went the way down.
came down.
No, he's not.
coming down?
He closed the door and said, "Oh wait, the knife can get down here."
You're going in there. The door slams.
He's not going in there.
Slowly goes open behind you and then slams shut.
Well, he didn't go in there. He was wondering what was in that room. Is the door closed?
Where that is.
This is a coaling bin
Okay.
for the furnace. And it is currently
Yeah, a
empty.
couple times I said I was picking the floor.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You're picking the floor. You're not going in there.
I'm like, I'm picking the floor.
You're picking the floor?
What is
Yes.
that?
Beneath the floor is stones.
It just keeps going.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be here. There's 100 years worth of shit, but I don't know. Yours is more exciting.
I got rats. The room's literally filling up with rats, right?
Are they going up the stairs?
Not an infinite number of rats. It looked like the whole wall here was filled with rats.
So
We have that can of gasoline, don't we?
yes.
Well, that's a cool room. He just said.
No.
No,
Rats
see,
are from here.
I started moving the boards out from here. Rats are coming in, I step back. Fine, I'll take out that shotgun now.
Okay.
Ba-boom, ba-boom.
You're blasting, blast two shots
The
at
rats or the wall?
The rats.
It's hard to pick walls on these rats.
There's a freaking rat.
It's gross.
And then a hobo, so...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Kowalski. A knife comes at you.
Yep.
Can I try intercepting it? Spot check or something?
Sure, roll your. I'm gonna go with dodge, but it's at half.
That's a failure.
Okay, you knock it over towards him closer. What's your dodge roll?
70.
Does that succeed? Oh, not as much as you.
You gotta roll, you gotta
He
roll.
hasn't rolled dodge yet. I just
Want me to roll?
Yeah, roll your dodge.
Succeed.
By how much?
27.
That's pretty good. But on a tie of successes, you take 4 points of damage. The knife comes down and just slashes you open.
Like, I would have had some characters that would have been like that too. This is not one of them.
4 points of damage. Where does it slash me?
Wherever. For 4 points. Wherever would do 4 points of damage. The shoulders, I guess. And then he starts flying around the ceiling.
Okay. Well, you guys should go do the wall thing. I'm going to try to test the knife. The shield.
Now, bloody, I'm going to run at the wall with my pickaxe and attack that.
So, all the walls have boards on them? Or same place? Or?
No, I'm interested in the one with the rats pouring out.
Okay.
That seems weird.
Your shotgun blasts have scattered the rats. They're not a horde anymore.
Now they're just a lot.
Yeah, all the boards start shaking and splinters start flying around in the room.
Ah, shit.
Beyond the hole that you guys have just made in the wall is, well, the walls on the other side here.
Oh, okay.
The walls on the other side in here are black and oily. That does not look natural at all.
Okay.
Kinda
Is
like
it similar to the stuff coming down the stairs?
Kinda like dried blood, only weirder and blacker.
Okay, I'd like to try something.
And it has a sort of biomechanical look to it, like the Alien movies. There's a dude on a stone bier decorated in eyes carved out of the thing. He's just lying there. It looks very much like the guy from your dream. He's all desiccated and mummified, and there's definitely a glow coming from his eyes. You can go ahead and roll your sanity now.
All of us?
Yep.
I failed.
That's really too bad.
Extreme success, 13.
Okay, on a success you lose 1 point of sanity. On a failure you lose 5 points of sanity, which is the magic number. Did you make it? You failed. You have gone temporarily insane. Because when you lose 5 or more points of sanity in a single roll, you go temporarily insane.
Fair enough.
Now I must roll randomly on the temporary. Oh, this is totally the wrong book. Oh dear. Please roll a d10.
Alright. I got a 9.
Phobia. Investigator gains a new phobia of rats, no doubt. You are terrified. Cannot act. For roll 1d10.
9 again.
9 rounds. Starting with this one is 1.
There were a lot of rats.
Yep.
Okay.
Can't do anything?
Not for 9 rounds, because you're trying to get away from the rats.
Okay.
during that time.
I drop all my things when I run. So that includes...
You book it.
that includes
The knife takes a shot at you. Roll your dodge skill.
What's shooting?
knife.
The knife takes a
I dropped
slice
like
at you.
cans of gasoline, I think, in my panic, so you guys can...
That would make sense. They're heavy.
Yeah, no, they're heavy. I'm not going to bring my pickaxe either, I'm running.
Okay.
There's a creepy glowy dude on a stone
I
desk.
succeed my dodge.
Fuck that.
Okay.
Rats.
You are not stabbed.
For 27
The
points.
knife shoots past you and comes back around.
It looks like a rat. I dodge it.
Okay, that's the second round of combat.
Tail, right?
Okay, what are you guys doing for round 2?
I want to know what's going on with this dude.
He's just lying there glowing.
I'm grabbing the gasoline cans,
Okay, you grab the gasoline cans.
and I just throw them into the room.
I'm going
Well,
to.
you'll have to do that next turn.
Undo them first.
I want to. I want to approach the guy on the dais
Okay.
and unload 2 barrels into his head.
Okay, you approach the guy on the barrels. Roll your POW versus his POW as he casts a spell on you. Oh dear. What did you roll?
36, a hard success.
That's too bad because he also rolled a hard success. You are dominated.
It's a plant person. That's illegal.
Round 3. What do? You're still running.
I'm running outside.
Wait, you do.
How much can I run?
His back is to you. He looks like he's just standing there like this.
Him?
Yeah.
By the time it's
It doesn't look good. You don't get a good feeling about him.
If not down the
Is
street.
there some mechanic I can
If
do
not down the
free of
street.
I'm not in the car.
Do you have any spells on your character sheet?
I grab the gasoline cans,
Shit.
open them up, and I literally throw them into the room.
Okay, you throw gas, covering him and Corbett in gas.
I am expendable.
Okay, round 4.
Actually, just the cans are in there.
Yeah.
I assume they're leaking, right? You open them?
Yeah.
No, I opened them, but just the tops. But
Okay, top, so there's puddling. There's
That's fine.
gasoline's puddling in the room. Okay.
all right. And that's it. I guess I can do for my turn.
Okay, round 4. Let me see your shot. Holy shit! You have a high shotgun skill. He turns around and points his shotgun at you and opens fire.
Are you nuts?
It fails. He hasn't reloaded.
That's true.
I know all about
That's too bad. And he throws a shotgun at you.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Who throws a shotgun at you?
Someone who's angry.
Oh, free shotgun!
You can see a faint glow in his eyes.
Third shotgun. A hobo with 6 barrels.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's preoccupied on me. You shoot him in the head. With 4 barrels.
Okay, round 5. You are running out the door. What do you do?
Can I reach and grab him
He goes first.
And then
Takes out his pistol.
Who in particular?
I do.
Yeah, pistol. Okay. I pull him, shotgun over and shoot the gas can.
19.
Okay, so you're shooting the gas can on the other side of him.
Yeah, and trying to pull him back
Away from the puddle.
and then around the corner where the wall is for cover.
Roll your fighting versus his fighting. He fights back.
Fighting. Is that brawl or whatever the
Oh dear.
59. So my brawl is
I have a 19. Fighting brawl.
is under B, right?
It's under F for fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting brawl 60, so I did make it. 57, 60.
Okay, he beats you by a lot, so he punches you right in the nose,
Ouch.
and you take 2 points of damage. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 point of damage.
Okay. You call that a punch?
I'll give you a broken
D3.
nose like the one I got.
Are you trying to make me prettier?
Round 6.
I freaking hobo box.
Does he not?
Roll your POW.
4.
Ah, you are no longer dominated.
Yeah. I like how I get punched and you snap out of it.
Only works for so long.
Well, I find myself with a 38 special in hand and a head that needs shooting.
Corbett is now sitting up.
Makes it easier to aim.
Is he out of the room or?
No, he's still in front of you.
I shoot.
He's like,
I'm gonna turn.
And I'm like pointing at the gas cans. I got the shotgun in one hand. I have him. I got punched in the face. He's like, why do you do that?
We also should have matches, just FYI.
round 7.
Sorry. So I came to. I
Kowalski.
wanted to have shot him.
Kowalski, you snap out of it. Your eyes are no longer glowing.
Sweet.
You remember everything.
Shooting Corbett
You turn around and shoot Corbett.
in the head.
Roll your shotgun.
So handgun.
Handgun. You're
Goes
using
double.
your pistol.
It's double because
You can shoot 3 times because it's
And he's point blank.
yeah.
You should, oh, it's semi-auto.
Alright, so that is a hard success. Is there any penalty to
Corbett attempts to dodge. He fails. His dodge is like non-existent.
Is there any penalty to continued shots?
No,
Alright.
only with fully auto.
15, which is an extreme success if I double this up. And third shot is a 6.
That's a tight shot, brother.
He's right here.
You should have summoned that motherfucker.
I think you rolled all below 10, so.
Things had to happen right now.
Corbett makes a sign with his hand like this, and he takes no damage.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I don't get to roll that?
Nope. That was your turn.
Well, he's talking.
What do you do?
I'm shooting. I got the shotguns out.
Okay. He still goes like
He's
this.
not shooting him.
Who are you shooting
A
at?
gas can.
You're shooting the gas can. Light it up.
I didn't. Did I?
He
Roll
didn't do
your
it the
luck.
first time.
Didn't do the first time. Well, my
Roll your
luck.
luck. You got punched in the face before you could do it the first time.
Ah, crap. 88.
You fire at the shot. You fire it at the floor, and it does not light up.
Can I pull him away from the dude?
You already shot this turn, so that's possible.
38 is 6-shot revolver.
Yes. Round 8. Kowalski.
Shoot him in the head with the remaining 3.
Okay. Roll it.
Need to not get a 98. So that succeeds. That succeeds.
Once again, he does not dodge.
I love with percentile dice. He could just
He's
roll one.
not dodgy.
No, he's just doing this crap.
He's not dodgy at all.
And for damage, I got, can you roll one for me? Just roll one. Bam. 10, 18, 24.
Well, each shot is separate.
10, 8, 6.
10, 8, and 6.
To ask for my people to be free from
Even when running away, super helpful.
So, you actually, if your people are in...
It's a 0. How does this make sense, dice?
This is 2 zeros.
Well, now out of
So you have matches, you have presumably a pickaxe.
I have a pickaxe. Yeah, I'm going to be brawling next. And now comes the method.
Okay. A knife stabs you in the back.
Sure does.
Oh, he impales. So it
dodge?
sticks in you. It's in your back. You're busy shooting at him while this knife attacks you.
Ah, shucks. Oh, there we go. That's much more like it.
7 points of damage. The knife like goes all the way in. It's terrible.
I have a major wound and I'm at 0.
You are dying.
I'm dying.
That's bad.
Finish the job. Okay, so he gets stabbed in the back and drops right face first into the gasoline.
Face first in the gasoline.
Yeah. What do you do this turn? Turn 8.
Have another shot.
How's it going?
Chips and flecks. When you hit his black and oily flesh and skin, like it flies out the back and turns hard like obsidian and shatters against the wall.
So the last few attacks did do something.
Yes.
Alright, shotgun.
Okay, roll your shotgun.
You can get a bonus for shooting an object.
He fights back with the knife.
Wait, what's fighting back? Are you still shooting the...
So whenever
You're trying to stop him from shooting him,
33.
but it doesn't
So
work.
whenever
33 with an 80 shotgun.
Okay, roll a penalty dice. Because the knife is flying up in your face.
Okay, the knife I dreamt about. So what I roll penalty? What's a penalty dice?
Roll another d10.
Okay,
Compare that with a tens digit there and take the worst of the two.
they're the same.
Okay, what'd you get?
33.
Oh, not bad. Okay, you hit him. Roll damage.
sometimes things just gotta happen.
46 plus a d6. Is that what? How I read this?
Yes, 4 die. Well, it's 4 die 6 if you're at 5 yards. It's 1 die 6 if you're at 10 yards.
Okay, so 4 dice. I'm assuming up in space. Here's 2. I'll roll this twice unless you got something
Right here.
Oh, you got the
D6. I'm good. Roll the Cthulhu dice. Those dice are killers.
All right. They're not very good for players. Oh, it's a 6.
He has 4 hit points left. He dies.
Kaboom!
And now, bleeding.
Roll a Constitution roll.
With gasoline.
So turn 9. Roll a Constitution roll.
5.
You have succeeded. You are not dead.
I wake up.
No, you don't. Because you're not dead. But you're still dying. What do you do?
I pull him. Can I apply pressure to the wound and try to hold
Okay,
it?
roll first aid.
You son of a bitch.
I have a first aid kit.
30%, right?
Yep.
Okay.
First aid kit help?
It lets you push the roll. Pushing the roll is you get to try it again. Something really bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna push it. That's 88.
If you fail if you push, he'll die.
I mean, am I gonna die anyway? I am at 0. Hold on.
You have to make a con roll every turn or not die. To not die.
We can pull you out.
Oh, I'm temporarily stabilized. So, no, you used the first aid to temporarily stabilize.
I can just do that. Cool.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, so it is turn 9. You are no longer temporarily insane.
Am I no longer deadly afraid of rats?
You keep the full game.
You're just normally afraid of rats.
So all this shows is that it doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm going to... I've left the house at this point, obviously.
You have heard a lot of gunfire from the basement.
And maybe Duke is like,
Well, he's gone. He's going to meet you back at
come on, you wait
he's
outside.
long gone.
Oh, he's a dog. You can wait.
You rolled a fumble. You ran away.
Fine. Take care of my dog.
He'll meet you back at Jackson Elias's house.
So, yeah, I'm going to take the pickaxe to the door that I ran out of to make sure
Okay.
it's open.
It's definitely open.
It stays fucking open.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Turn 10. Roll your. You're stabilized.
he's stabilized. You're going to pull him out, I'm
Use
guessing.
my first aid kit to stabilize me.
I'm pulling him out.
You're pulling him out of the basement. Eventually, you see him coming out of the basement. He's all bleeding and
I would help him to the hospital.
Righteous.
Yeah,
I got a knife still in me, don't I? Sweet.
I wouldn't remove it. I mean, that would make it even worse.
I'm sure they know that.
So like Corbett's lying in pieces in his creepy ass basement with
Dragging me up the
black pulsating walls. Put it back on that beer. If you wait here, we'll be right back.
Put him bleeding into I put him in the Model T. I see you can drive, right?
I can't.
All right.
It's my Model T. Or we have two Model Ts. One in the front.
Take him to the hospital.
Yep. Take him to the hospital where they cure him up before the next scenario.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do with the knife?
Ooh, I put it.
They give it back?
You want it?
You know, we had to do emergency surgery. We found this.
You don't want it.
Well, I got my teeth removed. They wouldn't give me my teeth. So I was
What do you tell them at the hospital?
He got stabbed.
you attempted mugging. Coming from a hook.
Attempted mugging. I thought about my friend here was cowardly and ran.
They look at the knife. Fortunately, the guy you take him to is Dr. Thomas Malone of the Society for Psychical Research. He's like, what do you guys want to do with this knife?
It's been touched by spirits, right?
We're gonna hold on to it, I think.
I think we'll keep it.
Belongs in the museum.
That sounds...
That's a little
So
high.
top men are going to study this? Or is that what's going to happen? You want to keep it at Jackson Elias' house? Jackson Elias, I don't want that in my house. That is not staying in his house. Not 1 second longer.
If it was
that knife leaves with you,
If it
asshole.
was my choice, it would be going to a blacksmith to just go into the furnace and melt down into its components.
Let's go to Hawaii and throw it in a volcano.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to Hawaii.
Hawaii, throw it in a volcano.
Really cool.
There are no Call of Cthulhu scenarios set in Hawaii.
In paradise?
No Night Marchers, no Kanaloa, no nothing. You know Kanaloa is, right? Kanaloa is the Polynesian deity of the ocean and the underworld. He has an octopus or a squid for a head.
Could it just be another version of Cthulhu?
I would just like to note, I'm glad.
Cthulhu's based on Kanaloa.
I think it's a good thing that H.P. Lovecraft never wrote a story set in Hawaii. Because that guy was racist as all fuck. And the idea of what he would do with the native Hawaiians of the culture.
Yes.
You know, there's a book that's a murder mystery written by a Hawaiian, a local Hawaiian guy called The Cult of Ku about human sacrifice. I need to get that book one of these days.
Yeah.
He got better, but yeah.
Yeah. It's just
So you
Is
have
there a place where you throw virgins into volcanoes?
the Liber Ivanis and you have Corbett's dagger. Did you? I didn't show you a picture.
Technically, we have
I'd
Corbett.
be very happy because I'd have 2 more cars.
Yeah.
Technically, we could have Corbett as well.
The Chapel of Contemplation. Corbett melts away into goo, and so does his room. That's Corbett. He has an amulet.
Did it also melt?
No, it's remained with him. Where's the fucking
I
dagger?
never did set in the house already. But now it's
That's good.
presumably
Now
on-
that makes Mr. Not happy, and then he pays
Unless there
you.
was
I mean, the
something
knife
else.
didn't take it.
Mr. Not pays you each $200.
That's fair.
Woohoo, that's a lot of drinking money.
Yes, it is.
How much was the medical
Doesn't
bill?
that just like immediately everything?
Oh, you got
That's true, I didn't have
treated.
insurance.
You got treated by Dr. Thomas Malone, so he's a member of the Society of.
I feel like you're
Psychical
automatically
Research.
upgrading your credit rating now that you have some assets.
That's the dagger.
Oh, that's a nice dagger.
Corbett's dagger.
When you said butcher knife, I was thinking like a full-on
Meat cleaver.
meat cleaver kind of butcher knife, not a.
It's a slash.
Yeah, it's more,
Chef's knife.
well, it looks more like a fillet knife almost.
This is a knife used to make sacrifices to Sisithagor. Or at least that's what the library
You can see
Ivana
it's
says.
thin. It's meant to go between
It's
the bones.
also enchanted, which means that it will do damage to things that can only be damaged by an enchanted weapon.
Oh, by his own weapon, the devil's whatever.
Yeah.
We could have used that knife, but I
You
like
could
that. I like
get it
that
out of
we
the air
use
somehow.
shotguns.
Yeah, I like that we use bullets.
Like Americans. Do you know that in World of Darkness, Vampire, there's a rule, the old school version, there was a rule for vampires can only be killed a very certain and specific way. However, if you shoot them enough and their meat to bullet ratio starts to topple, they're still alive, they're just ineffective. Is that it?
That is The Haunting. Did you make checks? You should make checks. This is a one-shot, so it probably really doesn't matter. I'll be running this again next week. This or something, we'll call it Cthulhu or something similar.
What is your name?
Kenneth Scroggins. Thank you for playing Call of Cthulhu. I hope you had an enjoyable time. This scenario is The Haunting. It's the first scenario ever written for Call of Cthulhu. 30 years ago, and it is usually people's first experience with Call of Cthulhu. It's included in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th edition rules, and it's in the quick start rules.
4th edition has amidst the ancient trees and something about
letter slope.
I heard Call of Cthulhu was happening, so I ran down here. I've run this one a lot.
Excellent.
I like to see how people do things differently. His brother's extra.
Last time I did it, we burned out.
What book is that?
Unspeakable Oath 18 has an article by Daniel Harms, the author of the Encyclopedia Cthulhiana and Necronomicon Files and Theory of Yig upcoming, about the Chapel of Contemplation. It's a very good article. In Worlds of Cthulhu number 6, Daniel Harms has a companion article called The Worship of Tussathagua Through the Ages. It's also very good.
Yeah, I get the Lovecraft might have not been racist entirely. There's just a racist character.
No, he's super racist entirely until like right.
But it's the same way, like
He comes around when he marries the Jewish girl,
yeah,
Sonia
but you
Green.
still. I feel like you have to judge the books by themselves, even because. Look, I like Orson Scott Card in his
that guy's
earlier
a
work,
douchebag.
but then the later work he was like, but what if fuck all of you? And oh god.
He was super rude to poor
Yeah, like Ender's Game was a good book.
A great book.
And then all of the stuff after that was like, okay, Speaker of the Dead, that's okay.
He just kept going worse and worse.
And then he got
book
the
after
Beam
that.
trilogy, and it was just, the Beam series, and it was like, this is terrible.
Seventh Son was good, Red Prophet was decent, all the rest of Alvin Maker was garbage.
Yeah. This is the second RPG I played with you.
Oh, Alvin Maker.
No, I did your Rings, the card game, the 7 Rings.
Did you play the RPG?
I played the RPG, not the RPG. I'd love to run that RPG.
You receive a letter.
No, I just want to play it.
All of you receive a letter later on from the owner of the Corbett House, a man named Rupert Merriweather, who's a member of the Society for Psychical Research in Boston. He's kind of a wealthy recluse who investigated Call of Cthulhu in the Gaslight era. He's like an old school investigator who's now like old and too old to do things. He bought the Corbett House in the hopes that the haunting could be ended. He tells you in his letter.
I want to try this game. No Country for Kobolds.
However, from what I can understand,
You ever played that one?
I have not.
So, yeah.
No Country.
No Country for Kobolds. It's based on the Apocalypse World system.
Oh, I was hoping it would be based on Kobolds Ate My Baby.
No, so this is a very similar idea. It's, you have,
You're a bunch of kobolds.
you're a kobold.
The players have
You have to go out to fill your needs for your village
It's kind of
to
like
save yourself from
It is
murder.
Kobolds Ate My Baby.
Yeah.
I like the
If
system.
if all of you die, you fail, and it's bad for your village. But if you die yourself, because your other people succeed, you then level up. The only way to level up is to die and have the next of kin come back, and like your kid comes back with better stats.
So suicide run.
But not everyone can suicide. Someone has to
Something like,
survive.
can I use this out of this book? And like, no. Core book, that's what we're using. And then L5R, like, I'm good with the lore, and I'm good with the setting, as expansive and massive as it is. But my issue is, like, the system itself is just, like, it's just hard to use.
As the Shadowrun, I go. it's like I sit there at the table, and there's nothing worse than bringing the character to a table, and then you're fucking worthless because the mages are doing everything. And it takes.
Isn't there a fate version of Shadowrun now?
The mages take like 5 minutes to do their turn, and I'm playing like an agent.
Shugenja can break the game in L5R.
Yeah.
See, that was the problem I had with the Dresden system.
Which one?
Dresden Files RPG. It's fate-based as well. And the mages show up. And well, the thing is, like, if you have a mixed group, mages can do anything anyone else can, but it require a lot more rolls. So if you have someone who's experienced with the system and they're a mage, sure. Well, I was trying to teach it the first time, and I had some mages, and it's like, you have to jump through so many hoops to get these things done, whereas the guy who punches things good punches things. Warrior Fudge Dice.
Have you played or know of Legend of Fighters?
I think I played it one time.
I used to own a lot of first edition stuff for that.
There's a new card game coming out for it. I love it. And there's an RPG. The thing about the RPG is that the Shugenja, who are wizards, like they're just hand over fist better than everyone else, and they can do practically anything. And the only way to keep them in line is totally fine with me, because it's so very roleplay heavy and setting oriented that, like, since there's Shugenja, they're like religious priests and they have a lot of like doctrines and responsibilities to the churches essentially. And like that's fine with me, but a lot of players are like, this is fluffy and dumb. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, like I said, the players have to be awesome. You really have to understand Samurai. And I screwed up the first time I played it because I didn't kill a lot of things. I took the Matsu, the lion guys, and I was really confused. I was built to a combat character. The whole fucking mission was all force-based. It was all role-playing. We finally get jumped. And instead of killing the samurai, chopped off his hand, which is chopped off his right arm. I think we got ambushed by Ronin, so I had no respect for them. But that was the DM just dropped. I was like, what? I didn't kill him. Totally dishonorable. You really have to. I got in the books and started reading all the different plans and the kind of roles. You really have to be awesome. You have to understand it to role play.
Well, I feel like a large part of that is RPG.
I did it.
You did it?
That was me. I didn't run it. I screwed up.
Well, the GM should let you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whenever I play, because Rokugan, Rokugan is so different from anything we've done. Like, I just like, do you want to do that? Because that means this. Be aware. Are you choosing that choice?
It also, it's also very much, like you said, it's the system, but it's also the players.
Yeah.
Like I have one game I really want to play that I love reading, Ryotama.
Never heard of it.
It's a Japanese role-playing game translated into English. It's essentially, hey, what if we were all in a Miyazaki movie?
Miyazaki is the greatest anime director of all time.
Yeah, like My Neighbor Totoro or those kind of things. And it's basically your group of people, and the classes are like noble, farmer, random like villager. Just there's no real combat, and it's all about just like discovering things in the awe of walking between areas. You can fight things, but you're like more mushishi. You're trying to save. Like, it's not like, oh, orcs are killing the village. It's more like goblins are attacking this village because the village was wooding, cutting down the trees that they live in. And, oh, it's all misunderstanding. I'll try to get it together.
I shoot the far spirit.
Yeah.
I shoot the far spirit right in the face.
Exactly. It's like, it could be fun, but when you have a player who wants to do something else, you don't play that game.
Yeah. In L5R, my favorite scenario that's in the 3 or 4 sessions. I'd like to brag about it because I was just so proud of it. And it was, they went to a party, right, held by a governor. They met the governor had a wife, she seemed catatonic and weird, except when the husband went away, she was like super awesome and went around and hosted everybody, and it was great. And they're like, this is super strange. One of the players sees her walking into a forest super late at night, he follows her, finds out that she's dealing with some bandits and running. So they find him, he gets brought in on a conversation, and she's saying, I need you, bandits, and now you, player, to ambush me at my party and kill me. Can you do this? And he's like surrounded by people, so he's like, yeah, I can do that, no problem. He comes back and they talk about it, and the Shugenja senses that there is a soul in her still, so it's super weird that she's catatonic whenever her husband's around. And then the way it ended up going was, that was her ghost. She had died previously.
Oh dear.
The soul that he had sensed was a child that the husband thinks is his, and she knows it's not, and wants her body assassinated. so that he doesn't get the tape. And so then the players, 30 minutes real time, just kind of sat there. What do we do, guys?
Killer. This is a role-playing game. When in doubt, kill them and take their stuff.
Murder hobo.
That is exactly.
Revert to default mode.
Yeah, and that's
exactly
her body, her
I
choice.
don't play with for Alpine Heart.
You can't. You have to be awesome. I mean, what I'm hearing is like the Eastern culture it's just so different.
It is.
And so their RPGs are different. It's more about harmony and getting along.
How do you fix that?
Yeah, and it's
And
also
we're-
like
and-
You don't. You make a choice and you live with the consequences.
like even like I was reading a thing on even Eastern stories. It's not a 3-act structure generally. It's often a kind of 4-act thing going on where the journey is the important thing, not the. So it's not
And
like
it's
the beginning,
like
middle, and the
90% of the time a tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hidden Tiger, whatever, Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger, whatever it was, is the same way. It's just like they sacrifice themselves because rather than find family. So you take Western us. We want to make our characters great. We want to stroke our egos and be the hero of that time. Now we gather shit.
Call of Cthulhu takes a lot of buy-in too. I tried to run it with some friends.
Because it's hard.
And they just didn't get it. Like, they ran away from all the scary stuff, which was awesome, but then they just also didn't investigate at all.
No.
So then they just
What I tell all my Call of Cthulhu players in any kind of long-term game or whatever is this: is two things. Two things that are like mandatory. First, your character your character will have a strong motivation to investigate the supernatural. Because if you're doing a one-shot, it's like, okay, you're just a bunch of people caught up in this crazy shit, and then it's fine. But to go back into the crazy shit for the second scenario takes a really strong motivation. You cannot just have like people just do it just because. Otherwise, the game turns into a farce.
I had some flares.
So that's the first thing. They gotta have it. And the second thing is you must roleplay your character's sanity loss. The game lies to you. You think the core mechanic is rolling percentile versus your skill or your stat, but it's not. The core mechanic is rolling your sanity, because that's your cue to roleplay. When that happens, when the GM says make a sanity roll, you gotta start role playing right there. How are you gonna role play that sanity loss?
I gotta say, I wasn't happy with the temporary loss of sanity that just says you don't do shit for 9 turns.
Yeah.
Like that's just it was not fun. Is the problem?
That's one of the big problems with temporary insanity.
Well, like some of them, like one of the temporary insanity. One of the temporary insanity was like
give him something to do.
Yeah.
That's how I normally do it.
It's a pain in the
But
butt.
like I've gone insane before, where it's like, okay, this is your enemy now, like the other player or whatever, and it's like, okay, I can choose what to do in that event, and I burn them to death or whatever. Yeah, like in that case, I threw a lantern at them.
Yeah,
I grabbed the grenade off their vest and threw it straight down.
I do temporary insanity differently, which is probably not according to the rules, but it would have been like, if you're phobic to rats, you say that you see this giant, like, 8-foot tall rat that's bearing down on
Hallucination.
you. Go! Now you have your own weird little fight while we're like all dying.
Hindsight being 2020, and I always would do a map for whatever role play is. I would have gone, okay, phobia of rats. Here's the deal. Each one of these squares have rats in it.
Yeah.
Your character's here. You have an action. Well, in normal you have an action, a move, action, and incidental. You tell me what your character does, and I will tell you. No. So obviously you can't go anywhere. You can't increase the distance of threat. So if you're surrounded, then you kind of just shiver there and freak out. Maybe you strike at them with minuses. Again, this is all. Don't take it. This is me coming with hindsight being money reporting back. Is that's what you're looking for as to you have 9 rounds, you can't do anything. I'd say you have 9 rounds, you are frightened of rats. Justify every action you're doing.
Yeah.
Based on playing with you guys are advanced players, playing maybe with some of the younger kids, or some of the kids with emotional diseases. You probably have to say you have 9 rounds of doing nothing.
Yeah. Or you could do like you have 9 rounds, you can't be here. Where do you want to? You reach the top of the door. Where do you want to go?
Because it would be brilliant if you ran into the room where the dude was at.
I remember.
I'm open to suggestions. If you wanted to do something like that, I'd probably let it go.
Yeah, but when I heard like 9 rounds of you're scared shitless and do nothing, it's like, okay, well, that's...
But it's the challenge at every DM.
Yeah, and you gotta know the GM a little bit.
The DM has to know
the player
how
a
much
little
rope
bit.
can you give a guy.
And that's the thing about one-shots. Like, I play a lot of one-shots at Gen Con. And other conventions when I go there. And it's always a little bit tough because you don't know the players, you don't know the GM, the GM doesn't know you. It's like
things I do. It's why to litmus my table is I go describe the characters.
The best thing I've seen is the X card. I don't know if you saw that.
The which one?
X card. So it's a thing that you do in one shots where you say, all right, draw an X on a card, put it in the center, and just go, all right, guys, this is the X card. If anything in here is something that you just can't deal with, touch this and we'll rewind and do something different. The idea being, if someone actually does have a phobia of rats or something like that,
clowns,
whatever.
You know, there's no such thing as a phobia of clowns.
No.
Because there's no such thing as an unreasoning fear of clowns.
But if someone was, had a bad incident with clowns or whatever it is, and it's really useful for me in one shot specifically because you don't know these people, and in a lot of games it's like it can go.
Game version of a safe word.
Yeah, but it's like these can go really badly a lot of times because you might have a group that's okay with slavery, and you might have someone who's not at all okay with slavery, and the game might be okay with it either way. So
what I would do is I get the litmus when I have people describe their characters. If their character is nothing more than a guy wearing leather armor and having a dagger, and he describes that character to me, doesn't even give me race, that is a power gamer. That's someone that will lead, and that's probably someone I will be all right with if I go to their turn and I have to end their turn for them and just skip them.
But I'm human, man. I have 8 ranks in whistle, and I have a horse I don't
Free feet.
yeah,
You get a free feet.
Or I am sort of Galabas, so the 7th Galabas in the line, and he gives you that. That's a person you have to revenge because their turn can last forever, and you have to just cut them off because they'll steal it.
or just like I was playing a superhero game. Like one guy was just like, oh, all right, what's your character? I'm the Flash. What's your superpower? I can run fast.
The Flash?
Yeah, what's your name? Barry Allen. It's just like
That works.
and I started doing it. It's like, and he listed family members. He was like, Batman. I'm like, no, that's a fucking dude with a bat. That's a super speedster whose power is I'm super fast and I have a bat.
I was running a one-shot for my friends of Kobold Ate My Baby, and it was a couple people who were new to RPGs I was hoping to bring into the fold, and the girl was cool, but she brought her boyfriend, and he was not. So during the game, he started just getting super obnoxious, but he was acting it out, because in Kobold Ate My Baby, if you act it out, you get bonuses, but he would be more obnoxious and not tell me what the hell he's doing, so he's crawling around on my floor, and stuff like that. So I'm just like, all right, it's your turn. And I let him do it for a while. All right, and I skipped his turn, and he got super angry. And he's like, oh, I didn't know we were playing like that. I'm like, dude, I asked you what your turn was.
And you crawl on the floor, so.
And as a DM, part of it is it's your turn, it's your time, and you don't do everything, you're done. Move. Because at the con, it's very important to make sure everybody gets. There's nothing more frustrating when the dude's doing 100 fucking things, and then you're like, holy shit, is his turn gonna end?
And as a player, even as a player on those things, I'm always trying to, as not the GM, just bring in the people who are quiet. Because I can dominate a goddamn session by myself. Thank you very much, but I don't need to. I want to be a fan of the players. I want them to come in and actually do stuff.
But there are some players.
You guys ever played Delta Green?
Yes.
Excellent.
I played Delta Green. I died.
That is clearly my favorite role-playing game of all time. That is simply the best.
I jump back and forth between right now.
You played Delta Green before? Have you heard of it?
Yeah. It's my understanding it's very much like Trails of Cthulhu.
Not really.
Yeah, I tend to like the story games because I'm that kind of a.
The elevator pitch is just X-Files meets Call of Cthulhu, played in the modern day. That's pretty much what it is.
Modern weaponry.
Weird conspiracies that you are part of, modern weaponry that can be used against you. Because all that guy's have modern weaponry.
See, I'm trying to get my home game. Should go to